On day 3 of the 2026 NFL Draft, the New Yorks traded up and got their developmental quarterback, Clemson quarterback Cade Klubnik. But who is this guy? What is he all about? I've got the perfect person to help break it all down. Boy Green Daily starts now.
Oh my gosh, it's morphin' time! To me, talking New York Jets is my superpower. Boy Green Daily starts now. Wow! Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily.
You're talking just football, man.
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Offense, defense, special teamwork, just football with Boy Green. J-E-T-S, let's go!
What's going on, everybody? I'm Paul Esden Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcasts. It's time to do a deep dive on Clemson quarterback Cade Klubnik, but every Friday I'm joined by that author. You see the book over my left shoulder, Beyond Broadway Joe, the Super Bowl team that changed football forever. Let's kick it off with my co-host extraordinaire, Bob Lederer, this morning. Bob.
Hey, good morning, Boy Green. How are you?
I'm doing spectacular, and I think we're about to be doing a lot better because a good friend of mine, we've done a lot of radio together, so unfortunately he's going to be subject to looking at my face, which he may say, can we go back to the radio option? And we'll have to explore that at a different time. Although Boy Green Daily is available in audio-only form, so if you do want to not look at my face, that option we provide available free of charge. With that being said, let's go to that special guest. He is the voice of the Clemson Tigers. A good friend, Don Munson, enters the octagon here. Good morning, Don.
Morning, gentlemen. How are you this morning?
Okay, well, we're doing
Good
pretty
morning,
good.
Don.
Yes. So, Don, I guess like right off the top, you know, you were around Cade for a long time down there in Clemson. Before we get to any of the football stuff, what kind of man is Cade Klubnik? I'm sure you spent a lot of time with him, Don, over the years. What are the New York Jets getting in terms of the person, the human being?
Well, just from a human being standpoint, you're getting one of the most solid individuals I think that we've seen come out of Clemson. To be perfectly honest with you, he knows, he knows where his foundation is. He knows where, as I like to say, where his anchor holds. He's a man of faith. So he's going to be a guy that's not going to cause problems away from the building, away from the field. He's just not. He's going to settle in, I think, in the community and do some surprising things for you as he grows up too. I mean, you got to remember he's still just in his early 20s, so he's got a long way to go. But I think that the foundation part is there. The family is extraordinarily solid. Mom and dad are just great people. So usually when you find somebody like that, you embrace them into your club and into your program. And I think that Cade, even though he's from Texas and a little bit from the South, and I get all of that, going to New York City, I understand all of that stuff, but I think he's going to be a great fit there for the Jets.
And Don, let's talk about that Texas thing. So I've only heard stories, or I've watched reality shows. They talk about Texas football and high school football, and it's supposed to, they're built different there. It's a different level of seriousness in high school football. And, from what I've heard, when you play Texas football, expectations are higher than high can be. And it looks like if you look at the Cade Klubnik high school resume, I mean, I don't know how you could do much better than he did with multiple championships and the records and everything else that, he was highly thought of before even coming to Clemson, obviously.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. When you talk about Texas football, you're talking about playing in front of crowds that at times will be better than 30,000. They play their championship game there in Jerry World. So, and that place is packed out when that's going on. So he's used to playing in front of folks. Obviously here at Clemson, we had 80,000 people that were in the stadium, every time that we were playing it at home. So he's played on the big stage. He seems to be at his best maybe when that light is really shining on him. As Coach Sweeney likes to say, let the light that's in you shine brighter than the light that's shining in you. And I think that's something that Cade really does. He embraces the moment. I mean, he's the MVP twice of the of the ACC championship game. So, he knows, and you go back and you look at the playoff game against Texas, they're in Austin in front of all those people, and he didn't let it bother him. Matter of fact, that may have been his best performance, you could arguably say, in his Clemson career, was in that playoff game. So you take a look at it, and it seems like he's at its best when he has more eyes shining on him, and certainly going to be a lot of eyes on him. I mean, he's coming to the New York market. He's coming to a place where they're either going to love you or they're going to chew you up and spit you out. One of the two. And I think that this will be a fan base, hopefully, that grows to love Cade.
Don, as somebody who's been around the Clemson football team for a long time, but let's just focus on the last 4 years with Cade. You must have been on the field during the week and with the coaches and hearing and watching what's going on. Cade did not start immediately his freshman year. I see he played 9 games, so they broke him in, I guess, a little bit. But once he got in there, he didn't come out. So I'm curious what your impressions of him and his collegiate potential was when you first saw him, at Clemson as a freshman.
Well, that first year and he was here, he's kind of a little bit like a wild colt, so to speak. He was there. I think there was a lot of things that he was thrown into in the collegiate game where he was having to learn terminology, having to learn just, obviously a whole new playbook from what he knew at high school. In high school, he was turned loose a little bit. He could take off and on his own and make some plays. He could certainly do that with his arm. He could certainly do it with his feet. He didn't necessarily have that freedom of motions, let's say, to speak here at Clemson. They wanted him to play within the system. And I think that one of the things that really made him stand out in high school level and to recruiters from the high school level coming to college was exactly that fact that he could break down things. I mean, and we're seeing that, I think, that more and more in every level of football, is that if you've got a guy at quarterback that can start breaking you down in more ways than just with his arm, but maybe he can use his feet, but I think more importantly, his mind. I think that's where that he needs to really get to, is where he's making the proper decision. And so that's the growth progress that I saw from him from first at Clemson to when he exited Clemson, was the mind that was really growing. All the athleticism is there for him, but he's making better decisions. And he got a start in the ACC championship game, actually his freshman campaign. Because we had DJ Uiagalelei. Actually, he didn't make a start. He came in as a reserve, but they had made a conscious decision that coming into that game, that no matter what, the third series, Cade Klubnik was going to get plugged in there, and he took it and just ran with it. Just literally ran with it. There was a run down the sideline that he had in that game, which was just amazing, and able to lead Clemson to victory. So I think it started there for him when he had that kind of success in an ACC championship game, and then moving forward from that. Usually success breeds success. He had disappointments certainly in his Clemson career. Don't get me wrong. So, but I think that he learned from those disappointments, and certainly that his last year at Clemson was not anything that any of us wanted to see at Clemson. It was a total disappointment for everybody, including the head man, the head coach, and Coach Swing.
I'm sure we're going to get into that. I'm curious, can you make any kind of a comparison between Trevor Lawrence and Cade?
No, you're talking two different physical animals. I mean, just two. I mean, Trevor's sitting there at 6'6", 215, 220 when he was here at Clemson. Trevor was one of those guys that when he showed up on campus, he was ready-made out of the box. You just open the box, batteries were already included. You didn't have to worry about it, okay? Cade wasn't that guy, even though he was tremendously highly recruited coming out of high school, coming out of Texas, but he wasn't necessarily that guy. He had to have development. So no, I don't see the but again, you're talking about, right now, Trevor Lawrence arguably is one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. Cade Klubnik's nowhere near that as of yet. Does he have the ability to have that happen? I think that he does. It's just going to take some time. Cade was the biggest thing.
Cade was hurt part of this past year, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. He was nicked up and he was hurt. So and the offensive line in front of him was hurt. We never. It was funny. I go back and you look at the offensive line that he played behind on August 15th of last year. We kind of knew all right, here's our starting offensive line on August 15th, midway through camp. Well, that group of 5 guys, if you count the tight end, I guess you can count that as a 6th guy, but if that group of guys started together or played together for only 6 snaps the entire season. 6. So I think that's where part of the problem with Clemson lied was in front of that offensive line. You talk to any quarterback, and they're going to tell you it's not the running game, it's not the wideouts, it's the guys in front of them that need to play well. And unfortunately, Cade just didn't have that group.
And Don, Cade's here, this bucking Bronco that has a few battle scars, 40 starts in college, during this pre-draft process, right? We thought the Jets were going to take a quarterback, but we weren't sure which one. There's conversations about Ty Simpson, who only had 15 college starts. I mean, Cade is a completely different animal. 40 starts. I mean, that is a wealth of experience that he's bringing to the NFL level. And I was reading through of like some of the most experienced quarterbacks coming out of Clemson, like, Cade's in that conversation with 40 starts behind him.
Yeah, and I think that's important. I think it was probably one of the things that the Jets targeted with him was here is a guy that's already played a lot of football, and he's played it on a high Division I level. It wasn't somewhere to mid-major. It was with a school that enjoyed a lot of success and had a lot of experience in winning. I think that's the other thing. I'm a big believer. Winning breeds winning, losing breeds losing. I'm a big believer in that. I think that becomes part of your culture, and you got to find a way to battle out of the bad stuff, and you got to find a way to embrace the good stuff when it's there and not let it get to your head. But yeah, Cade's got, from that standpoint, he's got a ton of experience, and I think that would really help him going through camp. It'll make him patient. I think that's the other thing, is that you don't always have a young buck that's like this that comes into a situation that can be patient. I think Cade can be that guy. We were kind of talking before we started recording, Paul, you and I, that I think that's the biggest thing that's going to be to Cade's advantage, that he's not going to be all the weight of the program is not going to be put upon his shoulders. He's going to be hopefully given some time to develop, and I think that will really help him.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm excited about, because Geno Smith has returned in some bizarre twist of fate. So he's back. So he's starting. The Jets are flirting around Russell Wilson and other veteran free agents. So my anticipation is Geno's going to be the starter. Whoever this veteran that they ultimately end up adding to the team is number 2. And Cade will have his opportunity as QB3, the clipboard holder, to just sort of absorb as much information as possible. I'm sure this won't surprise you, Don, but at the NFL, when players are drafted, they release the draft call. What was the conversation like between Cade Klubnik and the Jets? Like when they called him up, said, "Cade, you ready to be a Jet?" And within seconds, Cade's like, "All right, coach, send me over the playbook. I want the playbook right now. Send it over so I can jump on this thing immediately to get ready." And like I said, I'm sure that hearing that response from Cade probably surprises you very little.
No, it doesn't surprise me at all. He's a guy that is kind of is a playbook worm, as I like to say. He's a guy that looks at a lot of film. And it's funny, I'm sure you all have heard this story, but apparently the morning that he woke up, the day the Jets drafted him, he actually walked into the living room or something like that where his parents were and friends were, and he said, "You know what? For some reason, I think the Jets are going to draft me today." And so that literally came out of his mouth. And lo and behold, that premonition turned out to be correct. So I think that, all these kind of little pieces, these little things that lead to the big things, led up to this for him to be there in New York. And I think that he's ready for it. I think that he's, again, New York's a different animal. I mean, it is. It ain't Chicago. It ain't LA. It's New York. And there's a reason, that the Big Apple is what the Big Apple is. It's, all eyes of the universe generally are on New York City at some point in time during a football season, during a basketball season. Hockey doesn't matter. The eyes are going to be on New York City. And I think that he's all right. I think that he's from Texas, so he's had a lot of eyes, like we've already said. He's had a lot of eyes on him before. He's ready for this.
He's I looked at his senior statistics, and what struck me was, aside from the touchdowns, they really weren't that different from what we have seen in his junior year and his sophomore year. His completion percentage was about the same. His sacks were actually less, significantly less. But the numbers were there otherwise. Did he have the same receivers his senior year that he had previously?
No, he had younger receivers, as a matter of fact. Yeah, so he had actually younger receivers, a couple of freshman wide receivers, as a matter of fact, that were playing that you will see in the NFL. Both of those kids will be in the league at some point in time. And I think you're right from that standpoint. You go back and I think that coming off of his junior year, all right, so coming off of that junior year, I think that people really had really high expectations. Okay, the numbers that he put up in his junior year were pretty staggering when you looked at it. So the numbers in his senior year weren't quite what his junior year was, but, and there you go. I love it. You throw up the stats right there in front of us. So, you look at it, but he also played 2 more games in 24 than he did in 25. So the passing, as you can see, went from 36 touchdowns. It dropped to 16 touchdowns. Interceptions were still the same, but you take a look at it, the percentage did go up. If you look at yards per game, those went up a little bit for him from that standpoint. But he didn't have the same group that he enjoyed having in 2024. And it was interesting to watch. And his rushing stats were also, notice that he went from 3.9 yards per rush right down to just 1.1. I've already kind of touched on the offensive line. That had something, I think, to do with that. Plus, I think that he was, I think, making a cognitive decision not to use his feet as much and to give himself an opportunity to get to that second or third read and try to find out what was going on. And he also learned I think he was much better at just getting rid of the football, not taking the sack, getting rid of it. There are times when, guess what? An incompletion is better than trying to force a completion. And I think that he was learning that lesson.
Especially important in the professional ranks.
Oh, no doubt. Absolutely.
Definitely. And Don, if I had my laser pointer, it's something you just said. I see 2024 463 rushing yards. Now that intrigues me because we've been in ACC country here, Don. We've seen some Lamar Jackson action before. Now I'm not trying to connect it unless you want to connect those dots. That'd be phenomenal. But what kind of wheels does Cade have? Because you look again, historically speaking, you sort of go year by year, and again, you have to put 2022 in context. Obviously, you only started 1 game. But look at these other years of 182, 463, and then everything we just talked about with the offensive line and everything else at 94. Where is Cade as a runner? What is the truth? Is that 2024 really, approaching that ceiling or getting into that very intriguing territory of what he can contribute as a runner? Can he do that consistently, you think?
Yeah, I think the 2024 numbers are more indicative of him than 2025. He was playing with basically an ankle injury for about half the season in 2025. So it did limited his mobility, particularly at the end of the year. It was limited his mobility. I would encourage you, if you've not already done so, the 2024 game at Pitt, where he led Clemson to a come from behind victory, and he had a huge run of about 52, 53 yards right at the end of the game with around 20 seconds to go for a touchdown. And he found the lane. He got into the secondary. He was running away from people, which I think is key. He was running away from people. He's making people miss and got it into the end zone, and Clemson scored late to win that game on the road. I think that would probably be, and you go and look at the entirety of that game as well, just what he did passing-wise, what he did running-wise in that contest. I think that was probably, I think that's the Cade Klubnik that we could see in the National Football League 3 years from now. Not this year, not next year, but about 3 years from now. If the Jets are patient with him and let him develop, like you said, if the veteran bodies in front of him also have to help him. Gino, and if it is Russell coming in, both of those guys need to have the ability to be able to go alongside a young quarterback and tutor him up, be a little bit of it. So often in the league, you find that that's not the case. And I think that if the Jets are going to bring in Russell Wilson in particular, and I understand that he and Gino will go after it to try to compete. Sure. But I think that Russell can become the biggest part of all this, to bring Cade alongside of him, put him under his arm, because if I had to guess, Gino's going to be the starter. All right, if I just had to
Yes,
guess,
100%, 100%.
yeah. So Gino needs to concentrate on being a starter, and I understand that, and maybe he needs to do a little bit. But whoever that other veteran quarterback is going to be on the team, that quarterback needs to be the guy that kind of puts his arm around Cade and says, "This is the way that it's done. This is the way that you can be a success in this league." And I think that'll be very beneficial. I think the league has a problem in that it has become a thing where you draft a quarterback and immediately you throw them into the lion's den.
100%.
I'm 64, so when I was growing up, that just wasn't the way that it was done. I mean, just
you waited 4 or 5 years in the professional
exactly.
ranks. You got your chance, yeah.
And I think that they've lost that a little bit. I think there's so much pressure because you're spending so much money, and I get it. You're investing into these players and spending so much that you're not patient with them and you don't let them develop. So, I can remember when Brett Favre showed up. I'm a Falcons fan, born in Atlanta in '62. So unfortunately, I'm a Falcons fan. That's difficult for me to say. Okay.
Yeah.
But when Favre came in, he actually sat on the bench, and eventually, Atlanta made the mistake of trading him off to Green Bay, and he goes to Green Bay for a while and sits there for a while before he even gets an opportunity to go on and have the career that he had. And there's all kinds of those quarterbacks as you go through the league and you look at it. There's all kinds of those guys that are there.
Again, we're speaking with the voice, just real quick, I'll reset it for you, Bob. We're speaking with the voice of the Clemson Tigers here, Don Munson, here on Boyd Green Daily. If you have a question for Don, you can super chat that in. Again, Don is the voice of the Clemson Tigers. We're doing a full breakdown here on quarterback Cade Klubnik. So if you do have a question, feel free to submit that in, and we'll get to that here before the end of the conversation. Bob, please.
Clemson's quarterback play for the last 12 years, they've had some real luminaries in there. So it's a throwing offense, but how far afield from an NFL offense is the one that Clemson chooses to use?
Well, I mean, we've been a spread offense. I mean, we've been a usually a 3 wide spread. And sometimes we've gone to 4 wides. Particularly like you go back to 2018. If you go to the playoffs and in the national championship game that we won over Alabama, we kind of changed philosophy a little bit in the playoffs and went 4 wides. It's just because we had 4 wide receivers that can play, and we had Trevor, throwing it around the place, and we also had Travis Etienne in the backfield. So, and that's the other thing. The pieces of the puzzle, and you mentioned Trevor and even Deshaun.
And Deshaun Watson before Trevor.
Yeah, even Deshaun before that. You could go back to Taj Boyd when he was directing the
Jets legend, Taj Boyd, baby.
And now the quarterback coach at Clemson.
Yeah.
So
wow, full circle.
You look at the pieces of the puzzle, and I'm also big on that. Is that who do you have around you? Last year, and I would say that Cade didn't necessarily have all those pieces of the puzzle that he enjoyed the year before, or certainly that he enjoyed maybe even his freshman and his sophomore year. The pieces just weren't there. One part of it was because of injury, particularly inside the offensive line, as we've already mentioned, injury to himself, injury to wide receivers, that kind of stuff. But what are the pieces that the Jets are going to be able to put around him? What are the pieces that they're going to be able to put around, whoever is going to play quarterback this year, next year, whatever? I think that people really need to look at that, because it isn't just about the quarterback. I mean, Joe Namath behind you, who you, Bob, have written the book about. The pieces around him, both offensively and defensively, were tremendous. That yes, the quarterback is the focal point. Yes, Broadway Joe was Broadway Joe, and he knew how to play to the media.
But he had to grow into being a pro as well, because he was extremely interception prone.
Exactly, and so he grew into that. But he also did it with flair, and he did it with style. He did it wearing a fur coat from time to time. Putting on pantyhose. It didn't matter. He was going to be Broadway Joe. But he had to grow into who he was, and the pieces also had to grow around him into who they were, and be able to know we can depend upon this guy to help us make the right decisions and lead us. And I think that's where you can find Cade. I really believe this. I mean, I really do believe this, that give him patience, give him time, and Klubnik can be a quarterback that can help the Jets win. And I think he can help the Jets win in a big way.
So John, you see his ceiling as being a starting quarterback in the NFL?
Yeah, I think that is his ceiling. And I think that that, again, he can, and there are starting quarterbacks in this league who people still shake their head about, and say, how is that guy starting in the league? The San Francisco Giants have to hear that all the time. Their guy was Mr. Irrelevant almost, a guy that, was taken in the seventh round. Oh, by the way, there was this guy named Brady that was taken, in the late rounds as well. And what happened? I'm not saying that Cade Klubnik is going to be Tom Brady. I'm not saying that at all. He doesn't have the arm that Brady has. But I think that he has the wits about him that can be like Brady-esque. And I think that's what separated Tom Brady from everybody else, was just because of his mind and his work ethic and the amount of time that he wanted to put into it. It was important to him. Football is important to Cade. It's really important to Cade. It's not a hobby, and it's not a job. It's something that he wants to be successful at, and he wants to be successful at a really, really high level.
Don, a quick aside here on this, because I'm just curious. For our audience, can you let us know, how long have you been broadcasting?
So I've been at Clemson now half my life. So I've been here since '94. I graduated from Appalachian State in Boone, North Carolina in 1984. So, and became the play-by-play voice there, starting with basketball in '84. So I've been doing this a while. Love everything about it. So that's kind of my background.
Okay, I love that. And so I'm curious your take on this. So you just mentioned him, Travis Etienne, right? So like he's at Clemson. He's a first-round draft choice. He's immediately reunited like 20 picks later or something with Trevor Lawrence in that same draft, which I thought was hilarious. It was amazing. And then this offseason, he leaves. It's free agency. It's a cycle of life. You start on one team, you could go to another team. He ends up with the New Orleans Saints. And randomly at his like introductory press conference, he says, "Hey, by the way, I know you've been calling me Travis Etienne this entire time, but just it's pronounced Travis Etienne." And I'm like I'm like, what? I'm like, like 5 years in, 6 years in. Now you tell us. So like, Don, as a broadcaster, and I've done it at a much more peanut level than you. I've done it for some Syracuse strong semi-professional football up here. And I remember going before games, going over rosters with the coach that they would make available. I'll go through names, say, this one looks a little funky. Is this? Is this? And I'll go through the process because I, like any broadcaster, prides himself on saying the person's name right at a bare basic level, let alone whatever else I would be spitting on the mic. What was your take when Travis shares this revelation in New Orleans in a new home multiple years into his NFL career?
So when he first showed up, there was this conversation on how do you say his last name, and people were saying it all kinds of different ways. Etienne was one of them. I mean, it was actually one of them. Mm-hmm. But you go by what the phonetics on, and we get notes, we get games,
of course,
and in that is the roster. And then there is a phonetic and pronunciation list for some of the more difficult names that are underneath there. Mm-hmm. And Clemson put out literally the letters E-T-N. Etienne. All right. Yeah. So that's what everybody went by. But Travis's personality is one of such that he's very low key and he's very kind of soft spoken. He just never challenged it. And finally, when he showed up to New Orleans and he's back there with his family, where he's from, he said, I think there was probably some family pressure. Hey, can you at least let our name be right? Can you at least go to the press conference and get the name right? He probably got some of that from his mom, knowing his mom. That's probably where that came from. So I think that you look at it from there, and it's just one of those things. It's like, go back to the name. Joe Theismann. Everybody thinks that Theismann, that's his name. No. Joe Theismann's name is actually pronounced Thiesman. He changed it to Heisman, the Theismann, to rhyme with Heisman. He actually did that at Notre Dame. So these guys sometimes play with their names a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, Seth Ryan has been in and around the Clemson program. That's Rex Ryan's son. As a player and as an assistant, what role, if any, do you think he might have played in helping the Jets become convinced that Cade could be a worthwhile draft pick? Because they picked him fourth round, and I think the ratings from what I read this week were that a lot of people thought he wasn't going to go till the seventh.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that he probably got taken a little bit higher than maybe even we thought here in Clemson. By the way, Seth Ryan is a great trivia question here in Clemson. I don't know if y'all are aware, but we've had one of the Sweeney brothers that has been holding on field goals and extra points here. And so Clay now goes into this year. He'll continue to hold. So it started with Will, handed off to Drew, now to Clay. Almost 9 years or 10 years. All right, we've had a Sweeney holding the ball. The last person to hold, not named Sweeney, Seth Ryan.
Wow. Okay,
Right,
I'm putting that one down in my notes. That's terrific.
Right, so Seth Ryan was the last one to hold.
So do you know, having been around the program, because Seth just left Clemson to join the Jets,
right?
Was there any kind of a relationship that was, perceived by you between him and Cade?
Not that I'm aware of. That there may have been, where Seth may have come down during summer or even, maybe during August camp and was here and I just didn't realize it. But not that I'm aware. His dad's been around Clemson a little bit from time to time. Yeah. We'll see him show up from every now and then, but not that I'm aware. Seth is a good young mind, though. Great young man. I mean, just person-wise, he's just a great guy. Obviously, you take a look at the DNA that's in him. There's pretty, anytime you talk about Ryan DNA, it's pretty good.
Oh yeah, it goes all the way back to the Super Bowl Jet team.
Yeah, Buddy, obviously. Yeah,
Buddy. What a character he was. I mean, just
I've watched a couple of reviews of Cade from scouts this week, and the drop off between junior and senior year seemed to be perceptible in a couple of different ways. One was when he rolled out; he was not as effective this year, and we can blame that on the offensive line. But the long ball was something that, if my recollection is correct, that he was much more proficient at as a junior than he was as a senior. Am I off? Am I on? What did you see as differences in his passing ability in those 2 years?
Yeah, Bob, I would agree with you in that, but I also think it's something that the offensive coordinator didn't emphasize as much as throwing it long, going deep. I think that they were. I think they were just more content on taking stuff that was underneath or routes that were, there just weren't that many routes that didn't seem like that were more than 12, 15 yards downfield. Was part of that because of offensive line troubles? And you had to get rid of the ball a little bit quicker because, obviously if you're going to throw the long ball, you need that extra second. In today's game, man, if you're not getting rid of the ball in 2.2 seconds, chances are you've got pressure coming and you're going down. So I think that was another part of it.
And working with young receivers is also tougher when you're throwing the long ball.
Yeah, no doubt, because young receivers don't know how to get off the line of scrimmage. They don't know how to get behind the DB and get deep. I mean, that in and of itself is a fine art. Everybody thinks that they just run by people. No, you have to. Just to start, you can't make that false step in starting. You can't. You've got to have strong hands. You got to be able to get a DB off of you. If particularly they're playing that press man coverage, and they're up there and they're putting hands on you. You have to have the strength to get off of that, and then start your route downfield. So there's a lot that goes into completing the long ball. No doubt about it. Speed is one. Yes, speed is a big factor, but there's much more to it than just that.
Don, several of your Clemson Tigers are drafted into the NFL, and that's super cool to see. I'm not sure if you saw this footage, but I'm about to play it for the fans. So one of the Clemson players that was drafted, his name is TJ Parker, and he went to the Buffalo Bills. And so he was a second-round draft choice, right? So there's 3 days of the draft, day 1, day 2, day 3. He gets drafted on day 2, and then they quickly bring him up, to introduce him to everybody and do his press conference. And right before he came on his press conference, the Jets traded up for Cade Klubnik. And there's a Q&A here that I'm fascinated to hear your perspective on, Don. Here's TJ Parker being asked about Cade Klubnik, once his friend and teammate, now being a rival on the other team. Let's roll the footage.
Yeah, it should show me that. And Cade, when you see this, man, look, if I get a chance to play you and you out there throwing that rock, it ain't no practice now. You ain't got no purple jerseys on. I don't got to ease up no more. I'm going to run full speed through you. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I'm going to land with my hands on the ground so we don't get fined. You know what I'm saying? We're going to play within the parameters. But, man, I'm super excited for him, man. He's a hard worker, unbelievable guy. He's going to come in right away, try to, you know what I'm saying, be a leader as much as possible. I mean, I'm super excited to see how his career pan out. Obviously, they got Geno Smith there, so that'd be great for him to learn behind him and get things going. So I'm super excited for him.
By the way, what a personality is that on TJ Parker, but a friendly warning shot. Hey, buddy, if you're not wearing the purple jersey or purple no contact jersey anymore at practice, Don.
I love it. That's TJ Parker to an absolute T right there. You know, but that's competition. You know, you want that. You know, yeah. I don't care that you were my college bud. I don't care that you're my college teammate. You know, now if you're on the opposite team, you're fair game, and I'm going to go get you. I'm sure that both of them would love to trash talk one another a little bit, and I would anticipate that will happen at some point in the league.
And just to go back here real quick to Seth Ryan, great question, Bob. I'm glad you brought it up because, you know, Seth was at Clemson. He bounced around the NFL a little bit, so he got a little bit of experience in those realms with some really smart people. Just can you share anything about your time with him at Clemson and Seth Ryan? Because, you know, I remember Seth when I was back going to SUNY Cortland when his dad was the head coach of the Jets, and we're both around the same age. You know, we're teenagers running around out there back in those days. So, like, you know, to see him now full circle, a third generation on the Jets is like the most incredible thing ever. So, yeah, can you share anything about, anything you know about Seth Ryan from your guys' time together at Clemson?
Yeah, so, you know, Seth was a wide receiver here at Clemson. And the thing that really stuck out to me most about Seth is that, yes, he came in with the Ryan name, but he never used the Ryan name. He wanted it to be about what he could accomplish, the work that he did, the work that he put forth. And I think that really impressed the coaches. And I think it impressed a lot of us that were around the program. It would have been very easy for Seth to have walked in here and, you know, had a little bit of that ego about him. I'm on the Ryan bloodline. He didn't do that at all. He was willing to go to the back of the line and then earn his way forward. And I think and he was always a hard worker. He was a guy that every time that he was out there on the practice field or in a ball game when he got the opportunity to play, you know, he was putting forth his best, and he always brought his best with him. And I'm sure that's what he does as a coach, is that, you know, each and every day is an opportunity to improve. And I'm sure that's exactly what he is doing.
And let's do the same thing, and let's go to Cade Klubnik real quick. Do you have any good Cade Klubnik stories? Because, again, for Jet fans, he's drafted. Now we're just trying to absorb as much information as possible about, hopefully, our future franchise quarterback. So, Don, any good Cade Klubnik stories?
Well, you know, obviously, Cade, as a starting quarterback on the Clemson campus, you're big man on campus when that happens. But the things that really stand out with me about Cade, we have a program here at Clemson. It's called Clemson Life, all right? And what it does, it's a program that is there for, I'll use the term special needs, but it's not just mentally, it's also physically, so that they can come and learn to live independently. And it's a 4-year program. It was a 2-year program. Now it's evolved to a 4-year program. Right now we have about a little over 50 kids that are involved in the program. It's about to expand. As a matter of fact, this coming year, they're going to add 25 more, so they'll go to 25. Beautiful. But that program, Clemson Life, which was mentally delayed folks that would come. And they loved coming to practice, absolutely loved coming to practice. And Coach Sweeney embraced them in coming to practice. And to watch Cade interact with those, he was, again, the big man on campus. So there was obviously a lot of focus by that group when they would come to practice. And to watch Cade interact with those folks, and then just to make sure he didn't leave until everybody was satisfied. You know, whatever pictures were taken, whatever was going to be signed. But to watch him interact that way, and to watch him have a loving attitude towards those folks, and to embrace them the way that he did, that's the thing. Forget football. Just forget football. This is life now. I have a special needs kid, so maybe I look at it a little bit differently than everybody else. But to watch that just as a parent, and my child's not out there, but just to watch that as a parent, man, that is the kind of thing that leaves an impression upon you. That's the kind of thing that tells you, I don't care what this young guy does. He has the ability to really carry himself far in life. And he's going to carry himself far in this profession, whether it be as a player. I think he'll be a coach at some point in time. I really do. I think that coaching is in his blood. So those are the things that stand out for me. People want all the backstories about the parties and about the pranks and the things that that's not what stands out with me about Cade. And again, I mentioned that he knows where his anchor is, and I think that's part of it. That's part of what you see each and every day with him.
And Don, that's special to hear because my brother Brody is special needs. So, and a lot of people have been showing a lot of love for Brody. He got to call into the show,
That's awesome.
a couple of months ago, and he is down from the Louisiana area, and so he's a massive Saints fan. And we had him on the show, and he loves the draft. And he called in, and he would bring up a prospect. He pulled out his magazine, and he wanted to go through it on the show. I said, "Okay, let's do it." And he pulls up a prospect, and then he's like, "Where do you think this prospect should go?" Like, right, Fernando Mendoza, this player. And for each one, we would like have a small conversation, and then he would say, "Yeah, I think the Saints would make a lot of sense." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then we go to the next player. Yeah, we have this conversation. Yeah, it seems like a clear fit for the Saints. And I'm like, "Oh, I see where this is going. This is great." So my fans got to meet Brody and have this fun conversation with him. So to hear those kind of stories are very special. I appreciate that, Don.
Yep.
It sounds like Cade is something of a sponge. Is that an accurate?
Oh yeah, I think Bob,
So you only have to show him something once, and he basically gets it.
Yeah, I don't. I think there's more to being a sponge than just once. I think that sometimes a sponge needs to be immersed several times. So he's somewhere across between that. I'm not going to. The really, really great ones are the ones that you show once and you don't have to worry about it again. All right. So maybe that's what we're going to find out, because when he gets started getting to camp, it's going to be interesting to see how quickly he does pick this up. And I think that's part of the process that I think the Jets should be excited about him, because like you said, he was already asking for the playbook. So believe me, he's already immersed himself in that's happened and is happening. It's still going on. The playbook is something that you can never know it too well. You can never know a playbook too well. But I think that he can reach that point where when he comes to the line of scrimmage, he can take a look at a defense and he can immediately know where to go with the football. And we've already talked about this. He needs to learn what he needs to learn is that I know where I need to go with the football, and this is where I'm going with the football, and I'm not going to force something. I need to take the play that is going to give my team and my guys the best chance to success on that play, just that play. Yeah. And it may be something that then also that play is going to help something on down the line. So he's got to be also a little forward thinking as he comes to the line of scrimmage each and every time. But he also needs to make that decision that, all right, where does the ball need to go on this play to give us the chance for success? And I think that's definitely what Cade can do.
You and I are old enough to remember, to me, the classic example of the quarterback who between his junior and senior year seemed to have regressed in the eyes of the scouts. And that was Dan Marino.
Yep.
And he went so late in the first round that it was embarrassing to him. But lo and behold, when the next season started, he just tore up the league. Now, I'm not expecting the same thing from Cade, but as Jet fans, we can always hope.
Well, and again, there was a case where Marino gets drafted by the Dolphins, and he goes and plays for the perfect coach for him, and Don Shula. I mean, he went and played for the perfect guy. And Shula changed everything because of Dan Marino, because of the strengths of Dan Marino. And all of a sudden, they're throwing it all over the place. And he has all these Frisbee catching dogs that they're throwing it to. And, the problem that the Dolphins had, they didn't have enough defense. But yeah, I mean, And it's funny because Clemson actually recruited Dan Marino. He was on campus on an on-campus visit here in Clemson, South Carolina, before obviously Jackie Sherrill and the group got hold of him at Pitt, and he goes on to have the great career at Pittsburgh. But I think that's a good point to bring up. You look at it all the time. It doesn't matter where you are. I think about Raiders, the old Raiders. Bob, you and I are old enough to remember. You take a look at the Raiders' string of quarterbacks that they had, but there was always that one quarterback that was ahead of them that was teaching the younger guy, okay, this is the way that you handle things, and that growth process with Raider quarterbacks, happened that way, and you just don't see that. You just don't hardly see that at all anymore, and that's what I think that's part of. Again, I've stated this several times. I'm going to continue to state that's part of the problem with the league, is that you got to allow these guys at least a little time to get transition and then grow up and become what you think they can be. But
it's okay, Dan. We also flirted with Dan Marino in the 1983 draft before ultimately going with Ken O'Brien or Kenny O. So, we had a brief, brush with history
and
as
Jets
well.
fans, guess what? Jets fans, guess what? Say that O'Brien had gone to the Dolphins and Marino had come to the Jets. There's no guarantee that he would have been Dan Marino.
Yeah,
sure.
Do you know Frank? You know Frank Reich at all, Don?
I know him a little bit. Not, the only time that I've ever met Frank was in situations, just at press conferences or being around him at a media day or something like that. So I wouldn't say that
Bill
respect
Musgrave.
the heck out of Frank Wright. I mean, Frank Wright is a guy that not once but twice has led the largest comebacks in college football history and professional football history.
Yeah.
That's Frank Wright.
Yeah.
Do you know Bill
Musgrave?
Do you know Bill Musgrave at all?
Don't know Bill Musgrave. Obviously know the name, and obviously the quarterback that he was in the league. If I think about him being a 49er.
Drafted by the Cowboys, I think, like in the fourth round in like 93 or 94.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
old Billy Musgrave. I love that. Well, Don, thank you so much for the generosity with your time. Before we get you out of here, I'll just give you the opportunity. Is there something we didn't ask you about Cade Klubnik that we should have, or something Jet fans should know about Cade? Again, their new quarterback, and again, that he's our favorite quarterback already. He's fresh. He's new out of the package, baby. There's so much, optimism and hope that he can be the guy eventually. No rush, Cade. Take your time, but just make sure that is ready when when that package is open. But anything else on Cade Klubnik you could share with Jet fans, Don Munson?
No, I think that I think you're getting a great guy in him. I really do. Just from the man that he is, you're getting a great one. And again, you're not got to worry about him away from the field. Which if I'm a Jets fan, that should actually
thank goodness
be a positive. Okay?
that's a huge positive. Yes,
that's a huge positive. You don't have to worry about what he's going to do. And he's going to give you his best. Whatever his best is that day, he's going to give it to you. And I think that's another thing that you should really appreciate about him. I mean, that's something that I can tell you under Coach Sweeney that I have learned here is, all he asks, he said, we have a phrase here that best is a standard. Well, what is that? And he's gone into explanation of what that means. Just whatever your best is that day, give it to me. And if you can walk away from the field saying, Coach, I gave you everything I had. I gave you my best. Then he said, then I have to be able to accept that. Sometimes your best is going to be better some days than it is other days. That's true of all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's, again, what you need to expect from Cade. He has that emblazoned in him. Believe me, that's part of his DNA now. The best is the standard. He's going to give you everything that he possibly has to make this a better franchise. And I understand Jets fans. Believe me, I know the frustration level. I know the frustration level that is out there. But look at it this way: you're not the Giants, you're the Jets. Okay, so take it from there. So.
Well, Don, I want to thank you so much for joining us here on the show. The fans loved you. We have a couple hundred people in the room and thousands that'll watch after the fact. So, Don, thanks for getting up early with us to take the time.
No problem. My dog is downstairs waiting for me to go run, so we'll go take care of that.
Don, thank you. Have a great day and a great weekend.
Go Tigers,
Appreciate you
Don
all.
Munson.
Appreciate you.
There he is, Don Munson, joining us here on the program. Thank you so much to the wonderful, the exceptional Don Munson. Yes.
Well, how do you know Don? You say you've worked with him?
Yeah, so now one thing I have to do with Don, and Don knows this, he's come up to Syracuse several times. I'm here in this area, and I owe him a dinner, a drink, something, for goodness sake. Every time me and Jim Lurch, my old radio partner, every time we're up here, like when Clemson is playing Syracuse or something, we're doing it the next time. I don't care what the hell is going on. Secretary, clear my schedule. So me and Don are going to get to hang out. I've only briefly run into him in press rooms. Like he's in the middle of calling a Syracuse Clemson basketball game, and he's grabbing a quick lunch or a snack or something. And it's a quick, Don, hey. And then that's it. So that's the most in terms of in person. But, I worked at the radio station for 11 years. And of course, Syracuse football, Syracuse basketball, we're always there. And anytime Syracuse played Clemson, because he does both basketball and football, is we'd have Don Munson on the show, and he would end every interview with his classic "Go Tigers," and I love that about Don. He's a family man, which I love and respect. And so we've just developed a very nice friendship. That's only the second time we've done a video show with him. We did do a video show with him on the MC Show digital side with Jim Lurch. So we did that a couple months back. But so I know Don from the radio days. So Don's the man. He's absolutely the man.
I give him a lot of credit because as a guy who actually works for the university, and I had asked you about this before we went on, he could have been careful about what he said about Cade, but he was pretty open and pretty honest about, Cade and what his prospects really are. And ultimately, the big thing is give him a couple of years to soak everything in and to learn everything he can learn. And then I hope he's right that you're going to have somebody who's ready to step in. So at the very least, we might have a backup quarterback for years and years. And at best, he may be the guy.
Yeah, but so I see all the compliments for Don and the audience. You guys share the same compliments I heard when we had him on the radio show. He's just down to earth. He's been around the program forever, so he obviously has a lot of knowledge, and hopefully you guys took something away from that throughout today's show. Before we do anything else, I saw we got a lot of memberships gifted during the show, but it is, in fact, May 1st, Bob, which means all of the memberships and super chats, which I will get to, that were gifted on today's show are for our next raffle, which means, Bob, we have to reveal the winner for this month's raffle. So, Bob,
you know who I have nothing to do with this, but who I'm hoping for.
Who are you hoping for? Feel free to throw it out there in the universe. Maybe you could speak it into existence.
Bobby Jr.?
He does have raffle tickets. So let me give a reminder to everybody. So if you super chatted this past month during April, super chatted, super sticked, gifted memberships, joined the Boy Green Coffee Club yourself, you are in this wheel I'm about to throw on the screen. If you are an Espresso Club member, whatever your raffle tickets were at the end of the month, I added 5 raffle tickets apiece to every single member of the Espresso Club. So that is added on top of this total we're about to show you. So let's see. Here is the spinning wheel. Okay, there's a lot of names on this list.
Wow, look at that.
Look at it. It's beautiful. Look at all the colors.
Impressive. Very
so
impressive.
whether you have one raffle ticket or 100, you are in the running. This wheel has just been spinning around all day long. And when I click spin, it's going to go. And whoever it lands on is our winner. And to remind everybody of our prize pack for this month that we're giving away, that you guys have been piling and stuffing all the ballot boxes for months or weeks, rather, excuse me, as we're getting this program, are these fabulous prizes, which I'll show real quick on the screen, and then we'll get back to the wheel here. And that is these prizes. The Sauce Gardner jersey. Wouldn't that be great for Bobby Jr.? The 50-pack of New York Jets trading cards and a brand new draft hat, which, by the way, I grabbed from the draft in Pittsburgh. So that draft hat that eventually goes to you was from Pittsburgh at the draft, which is spectacular. So, again, it's up to the gods. Okay, it's up to the gods here of who ends up winning this thing completely at random. Good luck to everybody that submitted, and thank you everybody that gifts memberships. I try to make it as affordable as possible so everybody has an opportunity, certainly here So with that being said, Bob, are you ready?
My heart is beating so fast.
It should be. All right, here we go. Folks, good luck in the audience. Whoever it lands on, it lands on. Click to spin. Here we go. It's spinning, spinning, spinning. Wait a second. And there you have it. This has to be a sign. Chef Kevin Gilbert just got this. And today is Chef Kevin Gilbert vote day on Asmaniac Madness. This has to be a sign from the gods, a very good sign that not only is Chef Kevin Gilbert walking away with a bunch of prizes, but perhaps he's walking away with some serious hardware later today in the voting process. So, Chef Kevin Gilbert, congratulations, sir. You are the winner of our March raffle, Chef Kevin Gilbert, a.k.a. Fastest Food Review. Make sure you guys subscribe to his YouTube channel, Fastest Food Reviews with his son. It's an awesome channel where they review food very quickly. Fastest Food Reviews, sort of in the name. And there you go. Chef Kevin Gilbert is the winner of our raffle. Chef, you have all my information. Hell, you probably have my social security number, for God's sake. So feel free to reach out, and we'll make sure we get all the particular details to send that over to you. And again, I believe that is a sign from the high heavens. Terrific. Excellent.
Congratulations, Kevin Gilbert.
Okay, yeah, okay. Could have been Bobby Jr., could have been, possibly. We'll have to see. Maybe on a future raffle, if someone just sends him the Sauce Gardner jersey. That'd be spectacular. So we'll see if we can do that. Again, we got a bunch of memberships and super chats, which again will be for our new raffle that I will announce later. So hang on tight to that. Jared B., our moderator, gifted a Boy Green Coffee Club membership. Let me see if I can get to I should have screenshotted this earlier from my cell phone to get that membership from old Jared B., which I appreciate. Let me see if we can get this on here, this doohickey. No. But whoever got that membership, enjoy it out there in the audience, folks. That was from Jared B., our moderator here. We also have a couple super chats. You know, one of them that comes through every single time. It's from Jake Asman, the leader of Asmaniac Madness and the Jake Asman Show.
Wow.
That name is really picking up steam. $2 super chat from Jake Asman. Death, taxes, and Friday Bob Lederer. Chubb for club. There you go. I didn't know how Don Munson would react to that one, so I kept that one in the holster. But, I'm sure he may have heard it once or twice on the Clemson campus. So, Jake Asman, thank you very much. A $2 super chat coming through. And Chef Kevin Gilbert himself sent in a super chat earlier in the show.
Wow.
Good morning, Boy Green. Bob and the Coffee and Espresso Club members, hashtag Brody Strong. And yes, again, continued good news is coming in on that subject matter, which again, absolutely warms my heart. Thank God.
Great to hear. Great to hear.
Which it looked very scary here recently, and very troubling news and all kinds of things. So the arrow continues to point in the right direction. Nothing's official yet or out of any woods, but it looks really good. Thank God. So blessed be he. And I appreciate all the people sent in the kind words. So all of these super chats and memberships we just highlighted on the show, which I appreciate out there from the audience. Again, these are coming up for our May raffle that will be released as well here this month. So beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right, Bob, let me ask you, is there anything else you wanted to get to? Because obviously normally we go back and forth on a variety of Jets topics, but this opportunity presented itself where I reached out to Don. Basically, as soon as Cade was drafted, I texted Don and said, hey, Don, I don't know what your schedule looks like. And I'm in Pittsburgh right now, so I don't know if today would work or this weekend would work, but I'd love to get you on soon because obviously you know Cade better than anyone on planet Earth. And we couldn't get it locked in. And then I reached out and said, hey, I don't know what your mornings look like. I don't know if you want to get up this early, but I do host a show at 7:30 in the morning. It said 7:30 is fine. And I'm like, oh, all right. I said, well, I guess Friday.
Guys, we get up early. We can't really sleep until 9 or 10 o'clock.
Although I will say this, I have no idea what Don's actual sleeping schedule is, but he came on about like 10 minutes before the show started. I'm already in here doing notes and all kinds of things. And so I got to talk to Don for a few minutes. He's like, 7:30, you're like a crazy man. And I'm like, well, let me give you some additional context here, Don. I've been doing this for like 3 years every single day. with very little breaks in between. The only break happened by accident. I was at the Hall of Fame and the internet went out. So, or I would have done it on that day too. So Don said, "You're nuts." And I said, "That's a very fair response to have," that sort of thing. So I don't know when Don normally does, but he said, "Sorry for the backdrop because he had to go to a different part of his house where his family wasn't sleeping." And I said, "No worries. I just appreciate you joining the show." So
He could have done it from the outhouse, and we still would have been appreciative.
100%. Super appreciative, generosity with his time. And again, I think Jet fan, I speak for myself as a Jets fan, but I'm sure other Jet fans, I'm super curious about Cade Klubnik. He's a young quarterback that we all hope, of course, could be a franchise quarterback. Who knows what he's going to be? Is he a longtime backup? Is he a franchise? Is he out of the league in 2 years? I have no idea, but I want to learn as much information as humanly possible that I can about Cade. And thank you to Don for sharing some of that. So that's a long wind-up to say, Bob, I don't know if there's anything in particular you wanted to get to before we went to the fans.
I had built a list yesterday, and I'm going to go through it really quick.
Oh, please. Okay.
Get to the callers.
Yeah.
Breece Hall. Okay.
Yeah.
Forgetting about the contract and everything else for a moment, I think Breece Hall, even if he's not among the top 5 running backs in the NFL, he's going to get a chance to really have a breakout season, because between the offensive line and the new threats that they have at wide receiver and at tight end, it's going to keep the other teams honest. I remember one of the first conversations I had when I joined this Friday club.
Yep.
Was with Indy. And by the way, it was great to see Indy the other day.
Yes.
Get a chance to call in today. But I said, what about that second wide receiver? And Indy said, don't worry about it. We'll throw to the running backs. We'll throw to the tight end. Well, of course, we didn't even have a quarterback who could throw the ball to himself, much less to those guys. But Breece Hall is now going to be if everybody stays healthy and everybody really progresses and grows from a collegiate, star to at least a good workable professional player, Breece Hall is not going to be someone that the other defenses can key on every single play until it's 3rd and 8. Okay. Mm-hmm. And he's going to have holes, and they're going to be playing much more honestly, and he's going to have opportunities to get through and have several and hopefully 7 or 8 or 9 100-yard games. So that was one thing about Breece Hall, because I got kind of tired of everybody, jumping on him and saying, oh, he's not this and he's not that. He's going to have a chance this year to really prove what he is. Now, what is that going to do to his negotiating position? I'm not even going to get into that. Doesn't matter to me, as long as they have someone like Breece Hall in the backfield, because they need a real NFL caliber running back. And so far, he's the only guy that's shown that ability. Brendan Sarsby, which everybody has talked to this week.
Yeah.
All right. I sat down and I watched all his film.
Okay.
And I didn't want to extend how long we had Don Munson on. But the difference between a Sarsby and a Klubnik is this.
What's that?
Sarsby runs around and creates situations where he's got wide receivers who are open by 10 or 15 yards. And that's how he really builds himself. He reminded me of a much more heavy set Zach Wilson. Mm-hmm. I was impressed with how many yards he was throwing for and how well he could run. But to me, he still looked like Zach Wilson in an offense that was helter-skelter, which is never going to work. He's never going to play that way in the NFL. And so would I be interested in the supplemental draft and taking him for the 4th or 5th or 6th round? Yeah, I mean, we give him a shot, but
what's the highest you'd go?
Yeah, I mean, you could obviously, how the system works, because I was talking or watching Jake yesterday, and everybody in a piece of paper that gets folded over turns it into the NFL and says,
correct.
I'll wager my 4th round pick, my 2nd round
correct.
pick, my 6th round pick, and whoever has the highest pick gets the player.
So the one exception to the rule, just because I explained this the other day, and some people may not know this, the supplemental draft isn't even every year anymore. It was installed back in 1977. So some years there just isn't enough prospects that merit.
Is one enough, Paul?
What do you mean?
is one player who wants to enter the supplemental draft.
It is if they're significant. So in this case, I believe Brendan Sorsby, who some people project could be a first-round draft pick next year, would be enough. I think they would get other, I want to try to be respectful, but other random people in the audience. If there's other very unique situations and Brendan's the main star, I think they would do it for Brendan. I do believe that.
Yeah.
But here is how it works. So like it is broken up into categories of teams. So the Jets, right? They are at the category they fit in is 6 wins or fewer. Obviously, they had a lot fewer than 6 last season. So the Jets are in the most pristine category that they have the best shot at anyone in the supplemental draft. So let's say they wanted Brendan Sorsby. Any team with the Jets that has 6 wins or fewer and submit a draft choice for Brendan Sorsby. And let's say, because again, it's a blind bid. You're writing a thing on a piece of paper, essentially folding it and giving it to the NFL. The NFL looks and goes, okay, whoever's blind bid is highest wins. So if the Jets gave up a 3 and no one else gave up a 3, the Jets get him. That's how it works. However, if the Jets and other 6 win or fewer teams, so Cardinals would be on that list. Let's say the Jets and Cardinals both submitted a 3rd-round draft choice to the league. Even though the Jets are higher in the draft order, that's not how it works. It's random order of your group.
Oh, really? I was led to believe it was based on the standings going into the 2026 draft.
Yeah. So unfortunately, there's hey, to whoever it is, there's a lot of misinformation out there. So I'm someone that likes to read the CBA rules and go through it to make sure so that's why I wanted to do a show earlier on it this week, because I think there's so much misinformation people don't understand. So yeah, it is random selection of your group. So there's a group of 6 or fewer win teams. There's a group of non-playoff teams, and there's a group of playoff teams, and it goes from there. There's 4 groups. But for the Jets, they'd be at 6 wins or fewer. So if them and the Cardinals, because those are 2 teams that had 6 wins or fewer, because they would both be in the quarterback conversation of the teams that are in. The other team, because 6 wins or fewer includes basically what was the top 10 this past season. So there's 10 teams, but the Chiefs aren't doing it for obvious reasons. The Saints, the Titans, the teams that already have quarterbacks. The 3 teams, including the Jets, so Jets are included in these 3 teams, that would potentially be competing against each other for Brendan Sorsby are the Jets, the Arizona Cardinals, and the Cleveland Browns. Every other team either has a young quarterback they believe in or has a proven franchise quarterback like Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, whatever.
Paul, that might not stop teams from getting into the bidding.
Maybe.
Yeah, because if you've got a 30-year-old quarterback, you may be looking to the future. Well, like Green Bay. Green Bay does that all the time. And if you can steal someone that you really like, and I think the big issue here is his gambling, quote unquote, addiction from
thousands of bets
4 years ago.
Yeah.
But still, with all the gambling that is going on now, look at what's going on in the NBA with these players and coaches who are basically being nailed to the wall, for their gambling with, all these gambling services now that they're spending all their money advertising and such. It's quite a situation. Now, I understand that Sorsby is now in rehab for that gambling.
Yeah, he entered rehab earlier this week. Yes.
Yeah, but if I'm the Jets or any other team, I got to be very careful and wonder, if I draft this guy, what am I getting? I may be getting a very talented guy, but am I going to be getting a guy who's going to be hanging around in Brooklyn?
No, that's 100%. You have to do your homework, and just one layer just to explain this. So Jets, Cardinals, Browns, right? They're all 6 wins or fewer. Yeah, and sure, other teams that are in that group could enter the mix, but would they bid as high as these other teams? I don't know. Yeah. But let's just use the Cardinals, Browns, and Jets.
Take a shot.
Yeah, 100%. But let's just use the Jets, Browns, and Cardinals as an example. Let's say they all bid a third. It'll be up to just that wheel of names I just had. It's up to that of the random order they assign those teams. It'll be up to that process of who ends up winning him. Now, this should also be explained, obviously. If the Jets bid a 3rd-round pick for him and then they don't get him, they get their 3rd-round pick back. You're not bidding it and losing it. So you only lose it if you get the player. So we will see. But there's a lot of complicated factors here. Brendan Swearsby, first off, has to be ruled ineligible, collegiately ineligible for this gambling.
He has to pass an appeal, which he'll probably make.
Correct. Which, by the way, I think he is totally losing it. The bylaws are very clear on gambling, and he has admitted it, and now he's in a gambling facility. So I think he is going to lose his eligibility. He can apply for appeal, which I believe will be declined. But okay, let's say those two things happen. Then he has to apply for the supplemental draft. The NFL then has to approve or decline him. They approve him, obviously the supplemental draft will happen, but they could totally decline him. Gambling is a very touchy issue in the NFL. Why would they open this up? Because a kid gambled, which made him ineligible, and we're going to give him this get out of jail free card to come to the NFL. They could decline him and force him to bide his time to the 2027 NFL draft. That's possible, and who knows what his stock potential would be then. So there's a lot of layers to this. He's an intriguing player, obviously, but
the other
there's a
thing
lot
about
of
the supplemental draft, and correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, sir.
If you're the Jets, you don't know if anybody else is going to make a bid.
You don't.
You could be the only player.
You could bid against yourself. You could convince yourself, right, to go, let's give a third, and everyone else gave up a sixth, and you don't get to give up a fifth. You give up what you bid. So, yeah, you have to trust your sourcing around the league and try to gauge other people and play a game of chicken to see who's real and who's not. Because you're right, to your point, you don't want to overbid. What if the Jets submit a second and no one else submitted more than a fifth? Then you lose your second, but you could have got him at a better price. But also, if you're on the other side and you only bid a fifth and someone gets him for a fourth, you're like, damn it, we should have went a little higher. So, again, that's the game.
Yeah. Quickly, Russell Wilson.
Oh, yes.
I watched Nick yesterday with you. And, yeah, this guy is probably the best choice that they have as the backup quarterback. And what nobody really said that I think is very important is now that they've laid down the markers with this terrific draft that they had, and they've built themselves an offense that could be very representative for the National Football League, they've got to have a backup NFL quarterback, an NFL-ready quarterback. Now, Geno has been pretty tough. He hasn't really been injured very much in his professional career. But you have to really believe that AG wants to make sure that he's got somebody who's ready to step in and do the job, because AG's job is at stake. And he can't afford, to fool around, with Cade as being his savior. So it wouldn't surprise me, even though a lot of people have said, oh, no, we don't want Russell Wilson. Well, I'm not crazy about Russell Wilson either, but he's probably the best of a bad lot.
I agree with you, by the way, real quick on Russell Wilson. To me, I think I get me and Jake were disagreeing about this the other day on the show. Jake does not want any part of Russell Wilson. And I say, well, I think there's a difference between what you want and what Aaron Glenn wants. Aaron Glenn does not want one injury away to go back to Brady Cook, who he just had last year. Yeah. Or Bailey Zappi, who, with all due respect, is probably better than Brady, but by how much? Probably not much. So if I'm Aaron Glenn and I could get a Russell Wilson, who you could say whatever you want about him, 10-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl winning quarterback, like he's competent. I don't know how competent. I guess that's how you find out is you add him in. I would not be surprised if AG adds Russell Wilson. He's cool with Geno Smith, so that's all cool and everything. And you get a guy just in case something goes wrong. You have someone else to go to that isn't Brady Cook. That's going to. I'm sure the fans want to see, like me. I would love to see Cade Klubnik at some point at this season, because what is he? I'm intrigued. What does he end up becoming? But I'm sure Aaron Glenn, outside of Cade Klubnik, pulling a Russell Wilson and just blowing everyone away and say, "Wow, Geno actually move over Cade Klubnik is just our franchise quarterback," which would be great. But outside of that very rare and unlikely scenario, the Jets are going to want something proven. And whether you like Russell or not, he is a proven guy.
Well, but as Don Munson said, and I agree with him, maybe not 3 years, but I only want to see Cade Klubnik come in garbage time and hand the ball off a couple of times, and maybe throw a screen pass or one other NFL type pass. I don't need to see what he can do, except if all of a sudden we start reading in the press that this guy's tearing up the camp, which I think is unlikely, but you never know. So let me move on to the last point.
Okay.
I even called into Jake about this on Sunday.
Okay.
Will Ferrin, the kicker that they signed.
BYU. Yep.
Yeah, a UDFA from BYU. I believe it was Nick, or it might have been somebody else from JetX, who wrote a column yesterday about the weak spots still on the Jets roster. And one of them is linebacker, and I don't really want to go into that, but kicker. And everybody, and Jake put me on for 10 seconds and cut me off.
Oh.
And that's okay. I mean, Jake, if you're watching, I think I deserved a little bit more, not respect, but the subject, because how can you go into an NFL season without a respectable kicking game?
That makes sense.
And right now, they don't have one. They got a bunch of nobodies, including Will Ferrin. And I want to hear when the rookies come in next week, which I assume is what's going to happen with the Jets. And I want to see and hear from at least some of the reporters talking about the kicking competition and how those guys looked, because they better get themselves a good professional kicker. Losing the kicker that they lost, because they didn't want to give him a multi-year contract when the guy has shown himself to be Mr. Reliable the last 3 years in the league, to me was a big error. And so, Will Ferrin, I hope you prove to be better than we think you are, or that the Jets kicking coaches are going to work with you on something and turn you from a 77% rate field goal accuracy guy to somebody in the 90s. And we know he's got the leg, although he was kicking, in Utah. And again, elevation helps with long field goals out there. But still, I'm putting my hopes on him that something positive is going to develop. And now I'm done.
Okay, that's all right. Let me answer a few I see we have a few questions about the supplemental situation. So I want to educate if I can. NY Jets fandom, will start with you. Curious, Paul, if Jets put a second round bid in for him and another team puts it a second, whose pick is higher? So I just want to make sure I'm very clear about this. I misspoke slightly earlier that it's not 4 groups, it's 3 groups. So the teams, the 32 NFL teams are broken up into 3 different groups. Teams with 6 or fewer wins, that's what I said. The rest of the non-playoff teams, all the ones in the middle, and then the playoff teams. So those are the 3 groups. If you're in a higher group, you have seniority. So if the Jets, a 6 or fewer win team, makes a bid for a player, and let's say the Patriots, who are in the Super Bowl, makes a bid, Jets win automatically if they have the same bid. Second round, Jets win every time because of that. Now, if the Patriots bid a first round, Jets bid a second round, Patriots win because they have the higher bid. So that's how it works.
But if there are multiple teams in the first sector, all the other 6 win teams and such, then it's a
random draw. It's 100%. Right. It's up to the NFL blindly. They're going to assign. They're going to flip a coin, shake dice, whatever, and figure out, like Jets, Cardinals, Browns, which we used earlier. Like they ultimate second round picks. The league is the house in a game of poker. Okay, and they know all the answers. All right, Cardinals are 2, Jets are 2, Browns are 2, and then they shuffle them behind the scenes, and boom. If that ends up being it, then those are the ones. So, yeah, just wanted to explain that real quick. I see we have a couple other ones here that are there. Leon says, I think the Cardinals are most likely, but teams would be reluctant to give up a second in the 2027 draft, but a third I think is possible. We'll see. Again, that'll be part of the game of chicken. And this was another big one for the question. Jared B. Armadere says, Paul, if you're taken in the supplemental draft, you get paid per the round offered up. Like if you're a first-round pick, you get a first-round contract. Great question, Jared B.
Yeah, great question.
And I double-checked the information, and it is so. A player's draft position determines how much it will be paid. For instance, if a supplemental draft pick is taken in the first round, he earns the same amount of money as a rookie taken in that same round in the traditional draft. Now, obviously, a slot isn't determined, right? The second overall pick in the first round makes a lot more money than the 32nd overall pick. I believe from what I'm reading, it is the average. So the 16th overall pick salary is what Sorsby would get in the first round, second round, third round, fourth round. It'd be the average. The median average of that money would be coming in. So I got that information from Fox Business on the supplemental draft.
So Paul, what do you think about the possibility of the Jets getting involved in that? Are you for it? Are you against it? What's your point of view?
I am tantalized by the possibility of the Jets being able to, in theory, get. So here's another thing that people may not know. this supplemental draft would take place in June or July of this year. So like in a couple months, technically it's May now. So next month or the month after. And if you win your bid or however that works, or someone else wins a bid, whoever wins a bid, it doesn't matter. He is immediately added to your team right now. He just falls from the heavens. Whoa. Okay. So it's tantalizing, and it's, we're talking about it on this Cade Klubnik breakdown. We all hope Cade is that guy, but this is a new opportunity. And I read a PFF profile that says if he has a good season this year, he could be the number 1 overall pick. So obviously this kid is talented, but there's a lot of issues.
Did you watch any video of him?
I have, and I've seen him, and he can run, he can throw. He's 6'3", like 240 pounds.
Heavier set guy. He's not thin at all.
And I like that. I want my quarterback to have some meat on the bones to take the hits that inevitably come in the NFL. So I'm intrigued, but I will be honest, lay all the cards on the table. He just transferred to Texas Tech this offseason. That was who he was set to play for later this college football season.
He played for them last year, right? Or did he?
Cincinnati, I believe, is where he played. Okay, so he transferred this offseason. So he was set to play for Texas Tech, but spoiler alert, I don't think that's happening.
Because I don't think the Jets would ever put a first draft pick.
I don't think that would be crazy to me. That'd be nuts. I think the highest is a second, and even a second feels very rich. But in theory, if you could get your franchise quarterback now, all those picks next year could build around him. So what I would do if I'm the Jets, and now this is floating out there in the universe, the supplemental draft is not officially happening. He's not officially in it. There's a lot of hoopla that has to happen. If I'm the Jets, I'm doing my homework like nobody's business. I'm getting my scouts. And here's a cool story. So shout out to Jake Asman. He had some Texas Tech insider on his show. I believe the guy's name is Chris Level, who he had on his show. And he revealed when the Jets came to the Texas Tech Pro Day to go talk to David Bailey and take him out to dinner, they met with Brendan Sorsby, and a large contingent were in conversation with Sorsby. And Chris Level, who's a Texas Tech insider, says he saw it with his own eyes, and that he said, hey, they were there for David Bailey, but they were also there for Sorsby. And I've heard that as well for the Notre Dame Pro Day, that they went to go see CJ Carr while talking to Jeremiah Love and Malachi Fields and all these other guys. So obviously the Jets aren't stupid. They've been doing their homework on this class and looking ahead for that quarterback class, and any additional touch points where you can get more information is important. Again, I'm not going to pretend I'm a Texas Tech / Cincinnati insider. I have seen his games from a fan perspective on the couch, and I've seen his games. And there's a lot of people that think very highly of him. Jets, do your bleeping research. I think they should invest some level of a supplemental pick. Even if it's a 4th, 5th, 6th round pick, what do you have to lose if no one bids and they're scared off by the gambling thing? Maybe you could get a guy at an insane steal, but you have to do your homework on him. Gambling is very serious in general in life, but it's super serious in the NFL. Look at all these people that are getting suspended. They have rules that you could ultimately get banned for life, and then your draft pick you just lit on fire. And it sounds like this kid has a very serious problem. Thousands of bets. You start doing the math, which is not something I'm good at, but you start doing the math on thousands of bets over the period of time. They said he has to be doing 20 bets a day or something. Like, it's some insane number. Even if it's
what it was thousands of bets.
Yeah, thousands of bets is what he did. Now, from what I read in the report, it seems like most of the bets were inconsequential money. It's like $3, $5, $2, $1. But still, thousands of bets are thousands of bets. So am I intrigued? Of course. But they need to do a ton of homework on this guy if they would even consider potentially putting a pick into him. But I can't lie. I am
the gambling concerns me, and also the style of offense concerns me.
Sure.
The transition. I encourage everybody out there, go on YouTube and watch him play as a collegian. Mm-hmm. The style of offense is so far afield from what he'd have to do in the NFL. Talk about transitioning, which we did about Cade. This guy would really have to make a transition.
Yeah, and again, sometimes it can happen. Now, Texas Tech is, as I've already said, not a fair example to use because he didn't play at he had not yet played at Texas Tech. Yeah. But Patrick Mahomes came out of these crazy offenses. So sometimes it can be successful, but those sometimes seem to be the outliers to the greater conversation. And it's your favorite buddy. It's DNY for life. Look, Devin's in the mix.
How are you, Devin? Thank you.
I'm packing Boy Green Coffee Club memberships. Beautiful.
Indiana. So a little more help for Gangrene.
Yep, that's me screaming like a howler monkey at the NFL draft, and now we have footage to show everyone for the rest of time. Hopefully, you guys
one less opportunity to watch me going Jets.
See, there you go. New footage is coming in, Bob. It's protecting you. DIY for Life, your 5 memberships went to Harlem-born Bronx Bred. Thank you. Welcome back. Jay Hani Ace. We have R. Pesci. Dean Paparella is back. AZ Jets is back. You guys are all now members to the Boy Green Coffee Club. Shout out to Devin. Again, all these memberships you guys are piling in are for our next raffle, which we'll be announcing here very shortly. Appreciate that. So, okay, Bob, we got to everything on your list. Beautiful. Again, another shout out to Don Munson, the voice of the Clemson Tigers, one of my absolute favorite people on planet Earth. And I have never had him on Boy Green Daily or any Jets video show before. So check that off the bucket list, baby. Let's freaking go.
Let's go.
Okay, let's do that. Oh, yeah. People are asking who won the raffle for those who are just coming in. I think I took a screenshot, so I will show you that for the dramatic drum roll that's happening here. Okay, and I've already reached out, made contact with this person, so it's happening. And here you go. Congratulations to the one and only Chef Kevin Gilbert, fastest food reviews. Terrific. That is amazing. So, yeah, Chef Kevin Gilbert, which again has to be a sign. He's up for Asmaniac Madness today, can win a championship later. So it's got to be a good sign. So, yes, Old Yank. Chef Kevin Gilbert won the random wheel picker. And I see this question real quick from Philium. BG, is that the shirt Lou made you wear? All right, let's go back to the footage. I need to see the clip I just played. Let me see.
Indiana. So a little more help for Gangrene.
Philium, no, that is not. That is night one. That is me losing my bananas over the selection of Omar Cooper Jr. and the Jets trading back in for him. That is a Jets baseball shirt my fiance got me, which I think is super cool and different. That's amazing. Let me see if this other video has what Luby gave me. Let me see.
So for a team that didn't have one interception last year, they're trying to help themselves out. We got an option here in.
Yes, that 9-second clip was the one that's it. So, yes, so the whole controversy. I wore a Darrelle Revis jersey. There was a Pro Bowl jersey. I thought it was unique. We're in Pittsburgh for the draft. He went to Pitt. I said, oh, wow, look at all this connective tissue here. Makes a lot of sense. And unfortunately, Lou B, when I picked him up from his hotel, he went, you're not wearing that. That has too much red and blue.
And beginning next week, you'll be able to buy that very shirt at Abercrombie and Fitch.
See, that's right. So if you saw that 9-second clip I just showed, he bought me a brand new Garrett Wilson jersey. He dragged me to the NFL shop. He grabbed it. I said, what's your size? Boom, took it to the cashier. And it was basically like, put it on right now. And I stripped in front of all these people, and I put on the brand new Garrett Wilson jersey.
I got to go next year with Luby just to refresh my wardrobe.
Yeah, apparently. So, yeah, he was very motivated to switch out my gear, and he did. So, yes, that on day 2, which was the D'Angelo Ponce pick that was on television for that 9-second clip you just saw, he did buy me a Garrett Wilson jersey, which I wore. And now seeing it, it looks much better with the green. I am boy green. I am not boy red, white, and blue. I am for America.
What did you wear day 3?
Day 3. Ooh, I wonder if I took a picture of it. I did not. I did. I just went. So the first 2 days I was in the pit and I was a crazy fan and I was on TV and yelling Jet chants over and over again. So I was trying to be as goofy and Jet fan as possible. I was wearing the 80s Zubaz pants with Johnny Boy. I went all in, and that's true. On day 3, I sort of dressed myself up more as a professional because I wasn't inside the pit. I was just sort of covering the draft of my own accord. So I wore this professional brand new that I just recently purchased, a Jet quarter zip of some kind that's a half sleeve, and that's where I met Rich Eisen. So I'm glad that I was wearing that as opposed to Zubaz 80s pants. I'm not sure what his response would have been when he went, what the? So more professional on day 3, but it's cool that I got to be there for all 3 days. So a spectacular experience. So Chef Kevin Gilbert won the raffle for everybody that's asking. Again, he won the lucky spin of the wheel, which is terrific. And again, all your raffle tickets you guys are piling up today are going towards our next raffle, which we will go through as well. All right, folks, let's take a time out. Up next are your phone calls here on Boy Green Daily on a beautiful Friday to kick off the month of May. The NFL schedule drops in 2 weeks. It's one of my favorite times of the year, and we will have someone from the NFL schedule office join us on the show. We've done it the last 2 or 3 years or so, where they tell us all the details after the schedule comes out of how it all came out and what games were close to this, that, or the other. You guys are going to love that conversation. But we'll take a time out. We'll have more next.
1, 2, 3. Whoa!
Born
Let's go. You heard it there from Hap. Hey, everybody. I am Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast. Love it out there in the audience. So, folks, the phone lines are open. That's a pinned comment on youtube.com/boygreen25. If you'd like to call into the show, I want to give another very special shout out to Don Munson, the voice of the Clemson Tigers, who I've known for a very long time. He joined us for almost the whole first hour of Boy Green Daily. So thank you for his generosity with his time. And hopefully you guys learned a thing or two on Cade Klubnik, the newest quarterback of the New York Jets. You guys can rewatch that show a little bit, rewatch that part of the interview a little bit later if you'd like. All right, let's jump over to the phone lines. We'll start it off with Hap. Wow.
Hey guys.
Hey,
How's
Hap.
it going? Hey,
Hey.
I think there's a thing in Lord of the Rings where they go, there's a big battle and they're losing, and all of a sudden there's a fresh sweetness in the air that comes along, and they go, I think that the battle started, everything's starting to turn a little bit. And I think that's what's happening for the Jets. And I feel it. And the first sign I noticed was Vrabel and his mess that he's been dealing with. That's a typical Jet thing. Is that a typical Jet thing or
very
what?
much so. Yeah, definitely.
And I think we moved off the bad foot. I think we're going to be all right. I think we're going in the right direction now. And that's all I got for today.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you, Hap, for joining us. Love the hat, by the way. That was terrific.
That was really good.
Yeah, very nice. So, that is a Jets thing to happen. I thought we were at the draft, and I get a text that, hey, Mike Vrabel's having an emergency press conference right before the draft, and I'm like, oh God, is he about to resign? And I never knew what happened with that press conference because I was at the draft, so I didn't get to watch it. So I have no idea what he said or what he didn't say or anything with the media. But, we'll keep an eye on that situation.
Did you see he got a standing O from the New England fans, which I can't blame them for.
It was disgusting. I mean, two things here. Yeah. So and for those who don't know, there's these private events for season ticket holders and stuff where you get access to the coach and players and all kinds of things. So for those who did not see it, Mike Vrabel went to this private season ticket holder event. And as he's walking up on the stage to sit down and do a light Q&A, I imagine, with Mike Reese, who covers the Patriots for ESPN, standing ovation, clapping, wooing, and I'm like, what the he ruined his marriage and had an affair for 6 years. What are we doing, you animals? And that was wild. And then the players, I saw Jake Asman, who has another super chat, which I'll get into in a second, but Jake had a reaction to it I saw on Twitter. So Drake May was asked, the Mike Vrabel situation. He's like, he's going through something and we're going to be there for him. What do you mean he's going through something? Yeah, an affair for 6 years. It's not a disease. What the hell? The way they're talking about this is disgusting. But
I have to say, though, Paul, I think now is an opportune time, and I mean this seriously, to invite Diane Rossini to come on Boy Green Daily.
I have invited her, Diana Rossini. I've invited her on before for a brief period of time. We followed each other on Twitter, and I DM'd her and said, "Oh, thanks for following me. I'm, a big fan of your work. Would love to have you on the show." And then the timing just didn't work out when she was on before. So yeah,
I think she's got a lot of time now.
that is true.
And if you promise her we're just going to talk about the Jets,
I don't think
nothing
she
else.
would believe that.
Maybe you could entice her.
I don't know if I should try to entice anything with that situation. No, I don't think she would believe that it would only be Jets talk. And even if she did, I'm not sure. I haven't seen her do an interview yet. I'm sure she's going to inevitably do one. I don't know if that'll be on Boy Green Daily.
Exclusive Boy Green Daily.
That would be quite an exclusive. There's no doubt about that. Here's another exclusive, a Jake Asman super chat coming here on the show.
Wow.
Yeah, Hap was talking about smelling things. Jake Asman asked for the $2 super chat, "You smell greatness. That is a Friday Bob Lederer."
I'm not sure what that means.
What do you mean? You could smell it in the air, Bob. It's a wonderful thing.
I'm not going overboard on the draft. They won 3 games last year.
They did. Yeah.
I see 5 to 6. You know why? I read it this morning, as a matter of fact, which I always do my best when I'm doing certain things. Okay. But Our first round draft pick was talking about when his team played Sadiq's team last year, and they held Sadiq to 4 catches and like 20 yards. And again, that's in college.
Right.
So I think the guy's greatly talented. I love Cooper, greatly talented. I like our first pick, don't love our first pick. So I think they can make massive contributions, but are they going to leap to 8-9 wins? Not as their base right now. Now they may make some veteran additions that may make some differences, but I'm not going crazy. I mean, if they double their win total, I think we should be very, very pleased.
But yeah, with all context, double it from 3 to 6.
Well, okay. All right. So
is that the ceiling, Bob? Is that what you're saying?
We were the worst team in the NFL and we won 3 games.
So do you believe that's their ceiling? You think that's the best they can do is 6 wins?
I hope it's not the best they can do,
okay.
but inside,
let's do this.
Hey, and I'm the guy that told you that Justin Fields sucks.
You did, yep. So
everybody's give him a chance, and Devin wanted to bet me the farm on Justin.
Okay. Well, how about this? Let's bring Devin on the show right now, and you guys could do another bet on this Jets win. 6 wins. Come on, let's do an over/under right now, Devin. I'm going to push you into a bet. Come on, man.
Devin, I turned on the game. I turned on the game at halftime last night.
Oh my God, good for your next. Go New York, go New York, go.
83 to 36.
That's a blood.
Oh my goodness. You guys can you guys hear me all right?
Loud and clear, Devin. Yes.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Another bet?
Yeah, let's do another bet. Come on, Devin.
I'm gonna get to that in a second, Bob. Okay. I'm gonna get to that in a second. But before I do, I just want to say, BG, you and your family are my prayers every night. Bro, you're strong. You know, I really feel for you, brother.
Thank you.
And praying for you and your family. I also pray for you, Indy. Hope you're doing well, brother. So happy to see you on the chat. You know, hadn't been checking in for a little bit. I was kind of tapped out with the draft. You know, BG, you said, I remember at the beginning when we were shit and everyone was pounding for, hey, let's start doing some early mock drafts. And you're like, I don't want to do that because it's going to be overwhelming and it's just way too soon. And I just don't want to do it because you get burned out. In short, you know, and kind of what you said. And dude, I was like, God, this dude is so right. Because I kept listening, of course, because I'm tuning into the show all the time because I'm a fan, right? And I like listening to everyone and everything like that. But I was just like, before the draft, it was probably like 2 weeks before the draft. I was like, God, I'm so done. I'm so done. I'm just waiting. I just need the draft to come. I'm tired of all of these different, you know, thoughts of people having out there, and that was crazy. But so I was like, yeah, we were right. So if we're for shit this year, Bob, you know, I don't obviously I don't want that, but like, that's going to be really appalling. We're going to have to hold off on doing some draft. Let's wait as long as possible because it gets to be too much, man. It's every day, and it's like all of these different thought processes. Even with Cade Klubnik, you know, there was a lot of people talking about him, and it was funny because you're the guy I forgot the guy that comes on Mondays that does the doing the mock drafts for Drew Beatty. I really enjoyed him, man. That was great. He was great. But it was like he was saying, you know, Cade has a pretty good arm. And then I'm listening to all these other experts talking about he can't throw. And I'm like, well, which is it? And then I looked at it for myself.
I heard he's got a good arm.
Yeah. And when I looked at his highlights, I'm like, dude's got a pretty good arm. It's not, you know, terrible. But then I think about, you know, Chad Pennington was the same thing. They said he didn't have a pretty good arm, but you know what? Chad won games. So it's about what's upstairs, right? And putting everything together. So that's definitely what I wanted to want to just touch on that real quick. Also wanted to say
the 24th choice in the NBA draft, Evan.
Say again, Bob?
Who are the Knicks going to select with the 24th pick in the first round of the NBA draft?
I have no idea. They're going to trade the pick for LeBron.
I predict a trade out.
Yeah, they're going to trade and bring LeBron here. No, I hope not. I pray not. No, don't want to do that. But no, BG, did you have a good birthday?
I did. It was incredible. I got to spend, I don't know, I'm trying to think of when I got home. So it was at night. I picked them up my family dinner on the way home. So I got to spend 5 or 6 hours together because I was driving back for the draft. But come on, man, meeting all these people. I'm building some memory stuff like this, like almost like a shadow box of like pictures and moments, all this stuff from the draft. And I'm going to put it hopefully somewhere behind me as I'm redoing my office space over here. And yeah, I mean, come on. It was one of the crazy. I don't know what other people's lives are like, but I do this Brett Michaels thing with my old man last year. I do this. I meet Rich Eisen. I meet Curtis Martin. I feel like I can't lose right now. If I'm gambling, sorry, Brendan Sorsby. If I'm gambling and I'm throwing the house everywhere, I'm like, woohoo, it's coming at Boy Green every time.
Well, now you know how I felt the week after the Jets won the first Super Bowl.
Yeah, right.
That's the euphoria that I felt for about a week.
When that happens, I'm going to heaven. I'm going to feel that for the rest of my life. I am immediately celebrating, going to a tattoo parlor. I'm like, give me something, Jet Super Bowl somewhere in my body. I don't care. Let's go. I am going to be so all in on, and I will never come off that high. Anyone could say, hey, Paul, you're ugly. Hey, we won the Super Bowl last year, suckers. So no matter what, I'm going to use that for the rest of my life, in my life at work. Paul, we don't really like what's happening. You want to know what I don't like what's happening? Well, the Jets aren't winning the Super Bowl. So I will use it for the rest of my life.
Everywhere you go, wearing your Jets, whatever, 100%. You'll be able to look at people and say, hey, how about my team? Huh?
I'm gonna purchase the immediately after someone wins the Super Bowl, they're like, hey, your team just won the Super Bowl. Buy the hat and the t-shirt. I'm like, I'll give you my kidney. What else do you need? I'll buy it right now. I will wear that hat and shirt for the rest of my life. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was pretty stoked for you, man. That was a great weekend for you. And then, kick it off, and then your birthday came, and that was dope. Yeah. I did wish you happy birthday. Hopefully you got that.
I did see that. Thank you so much. And by the way, to everyone that reached out or wished a happy birthday or texted, 2 things here. My car sucks. So if I'm driving, and I get a text in, it immediately reads the text. So like it's not unread even if I didn't see it. So when I go home, I'm like, oh, all my text messages are read, even though they're not. So for anyone that sent me birthday messages, either driving to Pittsburgh or away from Pittsburgh, it sort of got lost in the sauce outside of me reading it in the moment I was driving. Oh, Devin, happy birthday. Nice. Whatever it was. So no, I did get that, Devin. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm glad that you had a great birthday, man. You deserve it, man. You work hard, bro, and you provide us with a lot of entertainment, and I appreciate it. That interview this morning was awesome, bro. It made me really have hope about Cade, and I'm really hopeful that we can transition. And I feel like we're trending in the right direction. Mm-hmm. I don't think we're gonna put in anything. I don't think the Jets are gonna put in anything for Sorsby. I just don't think they don't want to have those types of characters. Not with this year. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
If this was the year, like next year, and we won a bunch of games, and then it would be less, or last year we won a bunch of games, then it would have been like less of a drama thing, but it didn't be like the Jets are going to rehab this guy. And then we just don't need it. You know what I mean? It's just like, all the stuff that's happening with Vrabel. If that was the Jets, every day it would be on ESPN, but so we got to look at who we are. So I think the kid is talented, but I don't know if I don't see the Jets, throwing in a draft pick. Maybe they will. I don't know. I don't know what the Jets are going to do, because I definitely thought they was going to draft Orville Reese. They took David Bailey, but hey, I'm going to root for the kid hard as hell because I'm a Jets fan, and I hope that we all can go into the season just really promoting positive energy towards our team, man. Because we just tired of this 15-year drought, brother, and hopefully we can overcome that. One other question for you. I just want to make a quick point, and then I'll get off.
Sure.
Yes, sure. Did Indy get his package?
Yes. From the previous raffle. Yes, he did. He told me that he did. Yes.
Awesome. Indy, I'm glad you got that, boy. We love you, man. I got that, and I definitely was thinking about Indy Jet. And if Chef Kev, if you listen, if I had one today, Bob, my plan was to ask BG to give your son that jersey. I was like, please have that jersey. Wait for him when he comes to visit, please.
And there he is.
I'm definitely voting
Devin,
for you,
you're stealing all my material, man. Come on.
Sorry,
there you go.
brother.
Here's our winner.
Man.
Here's our winner, Chef Kevin Gilbert.
Come on, let's go. I love that Knicks stuff, man. I love the Knicks stuff. I wasn't gonna wear it on BG's show, You know, out of
appreciate
respect, he
that.
lost the bet to me last year. You know, I think we're up, EG. So you know, you do what you want to do, man.
Appreciate that.
I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
save my Knicks hat for Jake's show.
There you go.
His first show. You know,
Yeah, we don't know if
we in
Boston
the
is going to
moment.
make
I
it.
ain't even trying to talk no football, man. You know,
Okay.
my fault. I just
Keep it
really
real.
wanted to pop on, man. You know, I already said good morning to y'all in the super chat, but for winning the raffle, man. You know, I appreciate it. You know, you know, winning this stuff is cool, but you know, it's more the community stuff, getting people together, helping support. You know, it's important to support our Jet content creators. You know, BG's a big one. You know, Jake as well. So for like, you know, what I did for what I won, you know, I think it's only right for me to give it to Indie Jets. You know, that whole package, man.
Wow.
BG,
Okay.
please, you know, if you don't have Indy's information, just get in contact with him. Please send the winnings over to him. He's deserving. You know, it's one of those things where I'm doing super chats and saying these are raffle tickets for Indy Jets.
Yes,
because
right.
I wanted him to win. I anticipated him winning. Since he didn't win, technically, I mean, he's still a winner. I want to give it to him, please.
Well, there is a request actually. Before you make that official, Philium coming in here with the super chat. Let's get this in
So
here.
what happened?
From Philium. Here we go.
Wow.
He says, "Congrats, Chef. I will vote for you today, as everyone should." He says, "I have a favor to ask. If you decide to give the Sauce jersey to Badshaw, I will pay for the shipping," because he says he wants to send the most useless Jets jersey to Badshaw that he can. So maybe another possibility here if you start splitting some of the items here that you've just won.
Yo, FL Phil, you know, he's an OG, man. I listen to my OGs, especially the Jet ones, man. Great dude, all that. Yo, he got a great voice, man. You know, I always love listening to his song, but yo, Indy's my dog, man. I love Badshaw. He knows that.
Okay.
Indy's my dog. Send everything. Whatever else you got, 50 cars or whatever you get, yo, send it
all to Indy.
all
Okay.
the Indy, man, please.
Okay. Thank you,
Hey,
Philium.
best of luck this afternoon, Chef.
Yeah, let's
Thank
go,
you, guys.
Chef. Bring it home, baby.
Definitely.
Yo, Coffee
Losing
Club,
is
Espresso
not
Club.
an option. Losing is not an option, Chef. You win.
Yo,
You win.
full court press. I'm here to smother Gary. I'm gonna take him out, man.
With the pillow.
But I can't do it alone. It's all of us. We all gonna win. We all gonna host a trophy up, man. I promise.
Remember.
I promise. Yo, we gonna do this, man.
No
Let's go,
mercy.
Jets.
Sweep the leg. No mercy, Chef. Break every bone in his body. There you go.
I'm ready. Let's
Hey.
go.
Yeah, give him some.
Hey, I know.
Give us one more scream here, Chef, or one more shout to the fans to come vote for you because they should. Come on now.
Guys, a lot of support. Y'all always been rocking, man. You know, the comments always feels good, man. This is home. You know, feel good here, BG. Jake has embraced me as well. It's a great time to be alive. We're the Jets. We on the up, like what Hep said, man. Hep made it short and sweet. We on the up right now. Let's just hope that this coaching can put it all together for us to win, man. I want wins. That's what I do. That's what I want. I want nothing but wins, and we're gonna win today in Tasmaniac Madness, man. I promise you that. Let's go.
Let's go, Chef. Let's go. Hey, I'm gonna be tuning in. I know Jake is pissed off at me. Jake, if you listening, I still love you, bro. I'm gonna still support you. But you know, hey, Chef, I hope you win, bro. That'll be dope, man. That'll be dope.
Let's go.
You know?
Let's go, man. For the community,
Yeah.
man.
Let's do
You
it,
want
Chef.
Gary as your leader? You want him?
No, screw Gary.
Yo, I got so much material to unload on this guy. Yo, he ain't in the chats. He's by himself, man. He puts people down. Nah, we ain't about that life, man. Uplift.
Chef,
Talk,
I've got
preach,
great
man.
winner,
Be
bro.
there for
You'd
one
be a
another.
great winner.
Yo, put your hand out to somebody when they down. You don't kick them when they down.
Hell no. And let me tell you something, Gary. You 4-lettered word man. I've got another 4-letter word I'd like to say to you, buddy. Okay. And I'm not going to say it on the show, but you can figure it out. Do a little alphabets, okay? Because Gary, you're about to get the business. You're about to.
Kevin, I want to see you standing over Gary like Ali over listening.
Yeah,
you will. And you know what I'm a chant? It's not the Jets chant, which is my favorite chant. It's CHE Chef.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Come on, Chef. That's what I'm freaking talking about, baby.
Let's go.
There he is. Chef Kevin Gilbert.
Hey, BG, man.
Yes, sir.
As it relates to the Jets, I don't know if you saw this or not, but it's like, is it me? But like, yo, did you see the pictures of if anybody hadn't seen it, I ask y'all to go check this out.
Right.
Jets, they put out the pictures OTA, like the second day or the second week of OTAs, and they put out some pictures and stuff like that. Yo, and Braylon Allen looks swole. But I was showing my wife the picture, right? And we're both like, yo, why is he wearing his girlfriend's halter top with his nips showing? I didn't get that. Is that me or was that weird?
So two things. Let me get the picture because people have to see it now. But like, so I did just see this last night, and let me show it.
These pictures the Jets put out.
Yes.
Yeah,
So on their website.
Yeah,
he is. You guys are about to see it. I'm about to throw it up on the screen. So, yes, the Jets are going through their off-season workouts. Okay, they're voluntary. And so they're releasing pictures like, hey, here's 50 pictures from the first day of workouts. Here's 50 pictures from the second day of workouts or whatever it is. Here is the picture I'm about to highlight. This is a New York Jets running back, Braylon Allen. Here it is. It appears to be wearing some sports bra, which, by the way, if he is, I think it's missing the purpose. His pecs are very out. But apparently, from what I've been told, this is some sort of a GPS tracking thing that's on. Like, you see a player behind him, it's actually covering his tatas back there. I'm not sure what the point of this is, but I'm told that apparently this is supposed to track all your workout throughout it and test it. I don't know. They should find a more, something more suitable if they need some tracking technology, because it looks very bizarre. But I will say this. Braylon Allen obviously looks in phenomenal shape. He's been running all over the place. He looks like he is fully recovered. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, so I don't know if he actually is. But, I mean, he's chiseled from the gods, clearly. And I hope, because we've been talking about him like a mini Derrick Henry, but we've only seen that in spurts. Like, if he can legitimately be a number 2 to Brees and be a guy or a compliment in some way where he's just pounding, like he could do things north and south that, quite frankly, Brees Hall just doesn't have in his resume. I hope he could be that, because like
no more kickoff returns for him.
Yeah, please. Let's take him off that.
Let's be done.
Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate you guys, man. I just thought that was hilarious. Dude is Jack. He's Jack, and I'm glad. I see now. If he came in and looking like that, this is why we didn't touch no running backs in the draft. But that kid that we picked up as a UDFA though does look like a little explosive and for punt returns. It's been a minute since I checked in with you guys, Bob. It was great seeing you. Love you guys and love your input, man.
Hey, Devin, get ready. You and I are going bet to bet on how many.
Oh, bro, I am. You didn't know? Yeah, we did say you did talk about that. So, I'm a bit huge optimist, and I'm on GB Island, bro. I'm on Green Bean Island. We're going to the playoffs. That's where I'm at with this. And bro, I just feel like we are. I just really feel like we're going to go from worst to first.
Right.
Okay.
I hope I'm wrong, and I hope I'm wrong, and I hope you're right.
Yes, let's go.
Jets unite, baby. Jets unite. Brody strong. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day and have an amazing weekend. Pops, if you're listening, man, I'm thinking about you, your family, your mom's BG. Yo, y'all showed me so much love, man, and my family so much love. Like, I'll always be championing for y'all, and appreciate you guys. You guys have a great weekend. I can't wait for the next tailgate, brother.
There we go. It's coming, baby. Schedule drops in 2 bleeping weeks. And so as soon as it does, I'm going to be in direct communication with the Jets to hammer that out big time. But for Devin, has me ready to run through a brick wall. Now, there's a couple of updates I'm noticing here. First off, Lou B, Super Jets fan with a super chat. Appreciate that. Let's show love for Chef.
Wow.
By the way, we should get that on a T-shirt for Chef. 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 We'll get that cooking. We'll try to work that at the tailgate, like he's just cooking food that out of nowhere we just burst out into that chef chant. See how he feels about it. But Luby Super Jets fan says Coffee Club, take the time to vote for Chef today. I believe that's in the 4:00 window. So, folks, that's on the Jake Asman channel. Again, he's in the finals for Asmaniac Madness, where you'll win a prize pack of a bunch of stuff. So, guys, let's go support our guy, please, out there in the audience. So that would be tremendous. And I see that. So very nice of Chef to say that he's going to donate those items to Indy. But I've seen that there is an update, and let's bring this guy in, Philium here on the show. Philium, I saw that it has been approved by Indy. Batshaw is getting that jersey. So here it is. Let me put it up on the screen for you guys out there in the audience. There you go. Send the jersey to Batshaw. That's tremendous.
Yeah, I was trying to jump on while Chef was there because I wanted to explain to him, I've been saying the same thing all month. My intention was to send the cards and a hat to Indy. Yeah. But there's nobody on earth I would want to see get that useless jersey more than my good friend Batshaw. So I just wanted Chef to understand. I wasn't trying to get him to take anything away from Indy. Right. I just can't imagine enjoying making anybody wear that jersey at a Jets game than Batshaw.
All right, beautiful. So the jersey is going to Batshaw. So Philium will work it out on the side to see how we're going to split up everything here. But and now Batshaw, it's in the cards that now you're going to wear this to the tailgate, and people are going to go, Sauce, what the why? And I hope everyone in the universe asks him that question. I hope it's I'm just trying to think like a Jets Browns game, and he it has absolutely nothing to do with it. He's like, what in the world? What is good? I hope people ask him that. That would be hilarious. So, oh my God.
It would even be better if it's too small.
The jersey is purchased already, so I hope it is.
I just had to jump in there, and Indy, thank you. You're a class act as always. I'm really looking forward to this year. Thank you, Chef. Thank you, Indy. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Bob, for your time. Thanks.
That there is Philium joining us. That is bleeping hilarious. The only thing that would have been equally funny is Bobby Jr. getting it, but the Batshaw getting it is hilarious and very funny. So they get a Philium and everyone
next call on that tape that you just showed of AG.
Yes.
It's my old ears. What in the heck is he saying there?
Who wants to fly with them expletive jets?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it kind of became, we only had 3 wins. So unfortunately, I didn't get to say it a lot. But when he did, the locker room sort of went crazy. That was sort of a speech. I think, I don't know if I have all the other ones in here. Because at first I was keeping track of all of them. I said, we'll play this every time. And no, I think that's the only one that I have of it. But I kept all the other ones for a while.
Was that after their first win?
Let me see. I could look. Maybe check the locker room. Who want to fly with the No, it couldn't have been the first one because that's clearly the Jets locker room. Their first win was Week 8 against the Bengals, the Nick Mangold game where they learned shortly before that he passed away. So no, it wasn't. Okay. It wasn't Bengals. So no. Yeah, so it must have been a second one. But no, he definitely did that, I believe, after every win. So, some great stuff there. Great stuff there. So, all right, I'll be reaching out to everybody involved to split up the prize pack, and that's terrific. So some of that going to Indy, some of that going to Batshaw. Thank you to Chef Kevin Gilbert, who won the raffle, and he's giving it back. That's very sweet of him to do so. All right, we have a ton of callers here on the show, so let's keep going through. Up next is Johnny Boy here on the show.
Hey, what's good, BG? Good morning, Bob. How are you?
Nice dramatic head turn there. You're just looking out at the abyss in the window, and then you're called upon. You just sort of do a dramatic.
No, I got my other phone.
Your other phone. How many phones do you have? And you know what? After everything that's gone on with Rainbow, I shouldn't ask about multiple phones and whatever you could be doing. So you know what? Let's just get right to it.
After listening to Johnny Boy tell the driving exploits of BG in and around the Pittsburgh airport last week, we're all happy that BG made it safely back to.
And so did Johnny Boy, for that matter, I guess. So yeah, there we go.
Hey, Bob, ask BG if I gave him a call to check if he got home okay.
He did, and the way he said it wasn't genuine. It was like because of my terrible driving that he accuses me of. Like, hey, are you all right, man? And I'm like, yes, I'm all right. You doofus. And so yeah,
Johnny boy, did you alert the Pennsylvania police as BG was driving back?
Lou B did. Lou B got
an
connected.
anonymous call.
Yeah.
Right, the police officer stopped me. Hey, we received an anonymous complaint about your driving, and I'm like, from who? What? Yeah, so unbelievable.
Hey, so I came on really quickly because I wanted first off, great interview with Don. That was very insightful in regards to Cade. But this is maybe myself reading too much into it. But when he said this year he was trying to get away from only reading his first progression, right? And then the other one that I was like, he's in a really good position to be able to develop some more behind Geno of Russell. Is that me looking too much into it to where like maybe he isn't ready? And
no, he's not. He's saying he's not ready to be thrown into the hot area. No, he's not. He said you'd be doing him a disservice. In fact, he said you'll have to wait till the third year for him to really be ready to step in, and play legitimate NFL football.
Exactly. So then for me, that's a good thing, I would say, because we're not having to just throw a rookie quarterback, or if Geno is, I don't know, that throws 2-3 interceptions, and I can already hear the fan base going nuts and like, put in Cade, or anything. So I think this was a good interview to kind of get an understanding of what Cade could possibly be if you give him the time to develop and not just throw him into the fire. But I'm glad what you said about BG about Sorsby. Like if there's it's a conversation, man. Like I don't understand. People are just like no to this kid because of the gambling. I mean, shit. Every day's a gamble. If you want to be real, like. You're not promised to wake up the next day. You're not promised to get.
No, but we're not. But Johnny, we're not talking about that kind of gambling.
I mean, I get it, but doesn't he deserve a second chance? Like,
sure.
I don't know. I mean,
I will just tell you my life. I am a person of second, third chances. My fiance probably hates that I am. That like I try to see the best in people. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. And like there have been people in my life that I've given first, second, third chance, and they burn you, and then I should have probably stopped long before. But I like giving people. So America is second chances. So no, I don't think he's. And again, they're going through the investigation process, but it seems very clear that he did do a lot of these bets, according to the ESPN report from Pete Thamel. Like America is about second chances, so I'm not casting any shame or anything. I just think from the Jets' perspective, they have to do their homework. They cannot just because he's really talented, cannot just blindly add him in. But the good news is that they should have at least a month. And quite frankly, they probably have 6 weeks. And that's a lot of time in the NFL where not a lot is happening from Muji's perspective. He should have plenty of time to investigate this. He's got a full scouting staff. The draft is over. They should have a lot of time to look into Sorsby and see if this is something they should do.
Yeah, what type of betting was he doing, right? Like, is it the betting on those FanDuel sites or whatever?
Well, yeah,
that's what he was doing.
He was betting. He was betting only on Indiana, from what I understand.
I think I saw much more than that. So it was there's other things beyond that. So
when I heard the story originally, and before I even went to look to see what this guy looks like on the field, all I could think of was Arch Leister.
And I have to say this, I do like Klubnik, right? I think there's a lot of potential in there, and it'll be intriguing to see Musgrave. It'll be intriguing to see Frank if what they can do to develop this kid, and that's why I talked about the whole Russell Wilson conversation. I mean, having a guy like that in front of him to truly learn how to be a professional. I don't think it's a bad. And
he's going to get a lot of practice time, I think. With the Jets, personnel, not as much as the starting quarterback does, but he's going to get out on the field during practice and he's going to get a chance to throw to Garrett and to throw to Cooper and the tight ends and get used to the kind of offense they have, because he's going to have to learn, the system. And, from what we understand, he's very good at learning the system, which I take to mean that it becomes instinctive. That, with the first progression, if that doesn't work, that you immediately know what you need to do on each given play as to where you need to look next.
Exactly. Well, Bob, BG, appreciate you guys, man. Dude, awesome get with done. Dude, that was really insightful on the stuff that he was giving out in regards to Klubnik. So
the serious kid.
Hit the smash, hit the like. Yeah, you know what time it is. Be careful driving, BG, okay?
Sorry, I couldn't skip this.
Shut up, Johnny boy, bastard. Hey, by the way, you'll be very happy to hear this, Bob. During the draft and all my coverage, we surged over 8,600 subscribers, which was the line in the sand that you drew. So,
and I want to lay out a new framework.
Oh, please. Yeah. Okay.
I want you at 10,000 by the end of the year.
By the end of the year. Okay. So it's we're on.
I mean, that's only what? That's how much is it? That's 1,400.
That's it. It's less than 1,400 now. Yeah.
Okay. So we're talking about what, 150 a month?
That sounds about right on the math.
Yeah, come on. I think the neighborhood can do that, and hopefully, if the team is better, you'll have much more interest.
That's also for sure. So yes, so tell your friends, everybody. We're currently at this moment in time. I just hit refresh. We're at 8,605 subscribers. We are 1,395 away from 10,000. When I started this YouTube channel 6 years ago in September, I randomly threw out in the ethos to the universe. I said, 10,000 one day would be pretty cool. And the fact that it is very much on the precipice, and to Bob's point, let's speak it into existence by the end of the year would be pretty special. So what could you guys do in the audience if you're already subscribed? What, Paul? Do you want me to unsubscribe and resubscribe again? No. But if you could tell a friend, Philium has said this a million times, who called into the show earlier. We have 8,600 subscribers. If all of you got one person to subscribe, we'd be at 17,000 and some crazy number. So again, the Captain Planet, the power is yours. So people, help. Get a friend or family member that if you're a big, Boy Green subscriber, and get a surge and see if you can help and get more people on the army. That would be magical. So hell yeah, let's. I like it, Bob. All the things you said have come to existence. So after we get through this one, if you can give me the winning lottery numbers for next week, I'd appreciate that. If we can put that one on the docket, that would be spectacular.
Right after I buy my own tickets with those numbers.
Okay, there you go. All right, beautiful.
It's $175 a month beginning May 1st.
Okay, there you go. All right, that's doable.
I think that's very doable, because divided by 30.
Okay.
So that's about 40. Am I getting that right? 30 into 170. No, it's about 50.
Okay.
No, it's five a day.
5 a day. Okay. 5 a day. Okay.
That's not impossible at all.
I think that could happen. So people out there in the audience, help. Hit that subscribe button. It is, by the way, just to clarify, because I know some people get confused by this, to subscribe is free. If you join and become a member, that's cool, but which costs $2.99 a month or $5.99 a month. But subscribing is free. What I'm talking about is subscribing, the free thing to do. No one has to pay a dime. It's free to subscribe to the channel. It's also free. Word of mouth. Spread this out.
How many likes do we have today, Paul?
Okay, let's take a gander here. Let's take a look. So right now, as I hit refresh, so right now we have 300 people in the room. 115 of those 300 are watching on YouTube right now, and we have a grand total of 80 likes. So there is somewhere in the ballpark of 40 people in the room that haven't liked the video. They're just sort of sitting here right now watching us talk, which is a little rude, to be candid. Come on, like that video.
I'm personally offended.
Yeah, I'm offended that you're offended, and I'm offended of the offensive-ness that's happened so far here on the channel. So like the video, for God's sakes. Here's one of your favorite callers up next, Bob. It's Bill.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Bill.
What's up, Bill?
There are people out there who are watching and saying, I don't have to hit the like button to like the show. I like the show. What's the big deal about hitting the button?
That's a good point.
Anyway. Shout out to the Knicks. Oh my goodness. I could not believe how they dominated the game yesterday. It was amazing. I'm like a minute and a half or so into the highlights, and it's already 60-19. I'm like, wait a minute. Are the Knicks really playing another professional team? What the hell's going on here? But it was amazing. I mean, I've never seen any Knicks.
Can you imagine being an Atlanta Hawks fan who was at the game last night?
I was thinking just that. I'm like, oh my God, what the fan base must be thinking when they're seeing the way the Knicks were just curb stomping them. And then I'm not sure when Robinson got into the fight whether or not it was instigated by the Hawks player, but that only made the Knicks more determined to beat the crap out of the Hawks rather than fuel the Hawks to come back into the game. So that was amazing in itself.
BG, we know you're a Red Sox fan. Are you also a Celtics fan?
I am. Let me put it this way. Not only am I a Celtics fan, but like, here's my sports, right? So like Jets is not, if it's a pie, it's 100% Jets. And somehow I cheat the system and have a little bit extra that's in here. So obviously look at my setup here. It's all Jets. So I'm a Jets guy. But if you pick the next sport under and get away from like college football and the sport of football, NBA is right there for me. So I am a huge Celtics guy. I am. So sorry to the audience, and I can already hear them. People, come on, calm down, please. No, stop. No, come on. I'm Boy Green. You love me. And hopefully it's Celtics Knicks in the next round. Let's go. Let's trade shots.
The biggest surprise is it's like, what the hell's happened to Alon? Because I would have expected him, of all people, to be on to dunk on the Knicks, and it's like, wait a minute, that didn't even bring him out. What the hell's going on?
Didn't I hear the other day that Alon is actually masquerading under a different name now?
Oh, I didn't know that.
I don't think so. I doubt that.
I think I heard that on Jake. That somebody called.
No, Alon would go under his own name. He what is it? He enjoys all the negativity thrown at him. He takes that with stride. So no, he wouldn't use an alias. He just come on and say, "Hey boys, it's me. I'm here. What's next?" You know.
Maybe you're right. I'm not sure.
With Bob predicting 6 wins, I was saying, boy, Fridays don't smell as good anymore all of a sudden.
No, they don't. What the hell? 6? We just went through 3. And then Bob had the audacity to dress it up as, well, you double your wins. Yeah. Okay. You want to know what the double of 0 is? 0.
These guys coming out of college are not going to go into the pros and become
maybe
Pro Bowl players.
Possibly.
It's possible. They've added some experience, on the defense in particular, which lifts, their minimum capabilities. But they didn't really add anybody that's going to be a showstopper. And these guys are going to come in and they're going to be, let's hopefully believe in this, that they're going to be proficient players, but they're not going to dominate. They're going to make a mark for themselves.
You may be right. Yeah, you may be right, but we can't guarantee that either because you have the Quinnens and the Garrett Wilsons and the Sauce Gardners who all shine from the get-go. And hopefully there's one among the 4 guys, the 4 starters that we hope we have, that will make a name for themselves right off the bat.
Well, but if you want to tack on a lot of wins, you're going to need more than one of those guys to step up.
I understand that. And the other thing that I think you'll agree with me on is for the Jets to hope to win at least 7-8 games, even though we have all these offensive weapons added to the team, it's still going to fall on the defense to be light years better this year than they were last year.
Yeah.
If all of a sudden the defense plays top 15, then the chances are good that we'll be closer to 7 or 8 games as opposed.
But then the offense gets on the field and they're going to have to do, what they can do. And again, like I said before, I think this is going to be a potentially great year for Breece Hall because he's going to have all these weapons around him, plus an offensive line that can open up holes.
Right. Plus, they'll finally use him in the damn passing game as well. I mean, he's an additional weapon in the passing game. So it's going to be amazing to see to see this offense. If Gino can be at least halfway decent, I again, the defense still has to do its job. If the defense plays well and the offense plays at least decent, 7-8 wins are not ridiculous anymore. It's a more likely case. I'm hoping all the best for Klubnik. I like a lot of the film I saw on him.
Yeah.
Because definitely I want to hear more of the Chubb for Club rather than throw shade at Cade. Okay, so
nice.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good. That's good. I like that.
Like the shade we're throwing at the Mets right now. Because
how did they lose yesterday?
Oh my goodness!
How'd Syracuse make out yesterday, Paul?
They had a doubleheader and swept, and they won both.
Ooh, we're getting hot.
Oh yeah, they blew them out. The first game was 7-0, and then the game 2 was 4-3 or 4-2 or something. So they won both. And the one, so I didn't set it up properly. So they blow them out in the first game of the doubleheader, 7-0. The second game goes to extra innings, and then they win in a walk-off. So so it was spectacular. A lot of fun for the Syracuse Mets.
Yeah, but my concern is with all the accolades for their minor league system.
Yeah.
My biggest concern is that right now on the team we have Beatty, we have Alvarez, we have Mauricio, we have
Vientos.
Yeah, all these guys that came from the minor league system, and in the majors they haven't produced. They've been inconsistent. And I'm like, wait a minute.
We shouldn't get too much into baseball, but rule of thumb: 1 out of every 3 highly touted minor league prospects actually produce, into really good.
It's a complicated system. Here's some good news, by the way, folks. If Cade Klubnik does not work out, apparently this person is Marshall Manning, Peyton Manning's 14-year-old son, spinning it. He's prepping for 9th grade this fall. He is going to be in the recruiting class of 2030. So, folks,
sign him up. Sign him up right now.
We don't need no stinking quarterback. We'll just keep building the team around them for 2030.
There you go. Keep setting it up.
Exactly.
I didn't even know he had a son. So phenomenal, I guess. All right, there you go.
Yeah. It's amazing.
A lot of fruit off that tree. Yeah. Bill, you're spectacular.
Quick update. Quick update on Brody. That's all I want to know right now.
Yes, no, and this is a twofold element here. Is that I didn't know my father is now doing like updates on Facebook and or on our YouTube show. So here's a tease. Hop on Pop says, Hop on Pop Mania tomorrow. Here's the topic list. My father's turned into a podcasting extraordinaire here. He's like, here are the topics for tomorrow. Draft review. I'm a Breece Hall truther. And Brody update, and not a Breece Hall truther in the way you guys are thinking out in the audience. You will learn.
Hey, listen, I'm a Breece Hall fan too, so I'll hop on the show myself.
I don't think you're gonna like what my father has to say.
Of course not.
Make sure you, since I can't watch tomorrow, make sure you ask your dad. I'll watch tomorrow night. Who the leading running back prospect is for next year when we have 3 picks.
Yeah, that'll be high on the priority list. So he will give a Brody update, but the update I could share is just that the arrow is in the right direction, and that's been really exciting because I keep repeating the same phrase, but it was just very scary early on, like very, very troubling updates we were receiving that made me feel very nervous. And to get everything that's been so positive so far has been very, very important for my family. So thank you for checking it, Bill.
So Brody, Indy, full recovery, please, guys.
Amen.
All right, that's it. Take care.
Thank you. No shade for shade for Cade. I love that out there. That's beautiful. A couple of notes here. Then back to the phone lines. I see Phil or Indy Jet set up Philium. He promised to autograph that hat when we're at the game together. So yes, Indy. So Chef Kev won the prize. I'll give him another shout out when we sign off the show. But we're splitting up all the prizes. So the draft hat from the draft is going to Indy. Terrific. The trading cards are going to Indy, and then the jersey will be going to Badshaw. So that's awesome. I love that. And look at, Bob, how you just like sort of drew the line in the sand about 10,000 subscribers. I'm getting all these comments. NC Green says, BG, I'm going to step up the recruiting to try to help accelerate that process. I appreciate it.
Come on, if we have excited Jet fans now, when are we going to get them? But before we even start to win.
Yeah. Let's get. It's crazy. We have 8,600 subscribers to this channel, and the Jets have stunk. They're in the longest playoff drought in history. How did the show possibly grow under these terrible circumstances? Yet here we are. So people out there in the audience, you can
all the
if you
Gen
can get
analysts
anyone
who
to
said we had the best draft of anybody.
That's what a lot of them are saying. So yes, please recruit any of you out there. Thank you, NC Green. I see old Tommy says, does my alternate channel count? Yes. If you have multiple YouTube channels, each of them can subscribe to the channel. So sure, I'll accept any and all subscribers, no matter where they come from. So yes, that is 100% available. If you guys do have multiple YouTube channels, you can each subscribe to youtube.com/boydgreen25. Pop says, take the like button, pound down. That is free to do, folks. Appreciate it. Darren McCollum says, I was slow on the like. Pound the like button. Yes, it's not a race, but as long as you do it, whether as soon as you come in or as you're leaving or in the middle, that counts the same, whether you're watching live or after the fact. And again, I hope you guys really enjoyed that Don Munson conversation earlier. All right, we have plenty of phone calls here, so let's keep going down the train here. Up next is Philly Noodles, Professor Philly Doodles.
What's going on, guys?
What's up?
Good morning.
It's good to see you, Philly.
Don't you have your board ready for 2020?
Oh, yeah.
No, you know what? The draft is up. I get pretty hyped with the draft. You know, so we'll touch on a couple of things here. First off, you know, the 8,600, I want to make a mention here, no matter which way it goes.
Yeah.
You know, that's 8,600. I don't know how accurate of how many are following all the time, but that's still a strong number considerably to other channels that have like tens of thousands. There's no shots to nobody, but that's a lot of like, oh, saw a clip, hit the button, walked away. This is a strong following of people who are always on, just as some other channels do as well. So
first thing in the morning.
I'm glad that you said Philly because to me that is a super cool part of this. I have seen your point. I've seen channels that have like 1 million, and they're like 1 million. I can't even imagine 1 million. And I look at some of their videos, and I'm like, 10 views, 20 views, 10 views, 20 views. And then I go to the comments and they're like non-existent. It's like one person. Like in the, and I don't know who came into the radio studio last night in between games or so, because someone asked me about something. And it's crazy. You guys are 7:30 every morning. You guys are waiting in the chat. People are talking to each other. It's almost like they're at a concert or something like, oh man, can't wait for that to start. Oh, hey, what are you doing this week? Like, and I'm like, what? Like, it's a community. So you are 1,000% right. Sure. 8,600. Yeah. By the way, some people don't even have 8,600. 8,600 is cool. But like, this is a very engaging 8,600. We get people coming in and out all the time. We have people that have been here as OGs since day one that comment and call in every show or talk every show for you, you know, calling in certain days of the week. Like, yes, it's a very active 8,600, and I'm very proud of our community.
Well, like I keep telling you, Paul, you just need to get those Syracuse cheerleaders behind you with the
sure. Yeah, that would help. That can't hurt.
That would make a big difference. That would kick up the numbers really quickly.
So. Sex appeal up. Sex appeal up.
Yeah. So I don't know if you'll get the reference, Mr. Lederer, but to quote the great John C. Reilly, when we're in here, this is a house of learned doctors. Okay, these are people who are studying the Jets, and when we're on this channel, we're learning and we're getting some good insight. So, yeah, heck yeah, Step Brothers right there, little Step Brothers crew.
I love that.
So, shout out to Johnny. Shout out real quick. I want to laugh. I wish I was on with him. Me and him, we like each other for sure. Like, we're cool. And then, like, me and him will have, like, opposing thoughts. So when he was like, man, Scoresby. And I was just like, oh, God, no, please stop. Like, you mean as soon as he said, I was like, no. Listen, Klubnik in the fourth it's like a really strong educated guess of knowing I have a great athletic talent that I could move around and make good, because I know he's a study demon. The kid is in the books and he wants to be a proven leader. Scoresby is clearly no, it's not. Stop. You know what I mean? I don't want no supplemental, nothing. The fact he's not going to supplement anything. He'll just be sitting on the bench, probably getting mad and betting on other things again. You know what I mean? Like,
you think he's Johnny Manziel too?
Yeah. You know, listen. I mean, look what. So when they compare him, they say, all right, he could throw the ball at angles just like aforementioned Patrick Mahomes, the great, right? Okay, fine. Patrick Mahomes did not have the type of things that you're hearing around a kid that hasn't even got out of college yet. But we've seen those kids who have these issues. Like, look at Pavia, couldn't even get drafted, wanted to represent himself. You look at Menzel, had his issues. Like, there's a reason why these guys end up having issues. And it's not to say teams don't take chances on them, but it's more the fact that if you're a team who doesn't want to look like the team who can never get the QB room right, this is not what you do. It's the actual step backwards. We're not the Browns, okay? We don't need to draft another QB. We don't need 7 on the team when you got a guy who's been in the tabloids and somehow is still talked about becoming the starter and driving Mel Kiper crazy on draft day 3. Okay.
So are you saying that you wouldn't even try to get him with a 4th or a 5th?
No. I want stay completely clear, because look, Brady Cook, for all intents and purposes, is probably going to remain a practice squad guy, right? Let's just guess that.
Definitely. He's not making the roster, right?
Correct, right? Let's say Zappy makes the roster.
He could,
or he gets cut.
Yeah, he even could, because here's what I think is going to happen. We have Geno, obviously. I think they're getting a veteran. Is it Russell Wilson or Cooper Rush or whoever? Put that guy at QB2. Cade's QB3. Are they carrying 4 quarterbacks? Probably not. So, but maybe on your 16-man practice squad, would you keep Bailey Zappi and Brady Cook? Maybe right. You would. So yeah, I think it's probably going to be a 3-pack, and the 3-pack is Geno, random veteran, and Cade Klubnik. That's what I would assume on the 53-man roster.
And I don't know if you guys have seen it. That video of the kid we drafted at the end, VJ.
Yeah, VJ Payne.
Did you see the video that his mom posted?
No.
Wow, I went on Facebook and I followed her page and I liked it, and I made a comment. I said, "Hey, I know some outlets on YouTube that would probably love to interview your son," meaning you or Jake or something. Sure. She hasn't responded yet, but man, she went into a holy worship of him getting drafted. It was emotional for the entire family of 20 people in the house.
Oh, cool. Share it on Discord. I'd love to check that out.
Yeah, I'll send it from Facebook onto Discord, and hopefully you can reach out to her. That'd be pretty dope.
Great. I would love to talk to any of these draft picks. That'd be amazing.
Heck yeah. And maybe we find another Sauce jersey in the universe. We get it to Bobby's son.
Oh yeah, we can just get him another one. Yeah, let's work on that. So don't forget that later, Philly. Make sure you DM me about that. We'll try to see what we can do.
Yeah, and shout out Andy, shout out the whole community, shout out your brother Brody, and CHEF chef. Let's freaking go today, bro.
That's okay. I had never thought about that, so thank you, Philly Noodles.
Philly, have a great weekend.
A new chant I had not given much credence to, but there you go. That could be out there in the universe. And very nice from Happy Eddie McGuire here. Says Beachy doesn't realize he owns the Morning Jets market. Sure. Take it over, become the power lead into the other shows like traditional media. I'll tell you one thing that I love, and our original radio show was later than 7:30 in the morning, obviously. When we did the Man Show with Boy Green, we did at 10 in the morning, and that was most of in our market of Syracuse. That was the earliest show. And I love that we got the first word on anything. So if there was a game the previous night, we say it first. If there was a breaking story that morning, we have first word. So I've always loved that element of being first, I guess, for lack of a better word. So no, I'm very proud of this show. I'm glad that it's at the same time every day. Again, being a military brat, being with my father who used to being early is being on time is being late is unacceptable. He built that. That is in my DNA. It's built into every part of my body. So I love that we could do a show. It's reliable. It's consistent every day, no matter what you got going on. You know that there's a show going on. Now, maybe you won't love the content. Maybe you're not a Cade Klubnik guy, so maybe today was not good for you. Hopefully people, even if you weren't a Cade Klubnik guy, hopefully you had an open mind about someone that has some real insights. He's not just some talking head. Don Munson's been around Cade Klubnik his entire collegiate career. So hopefully you guys got something interesting out of it.
Right now we're putting a lot of faith in, in this kid. Mm-hmm. And, who knows, but next year, chances are he and another young quarterback are going to be helping one another, in the Jets camp.
We can only hope. That'd be amazing. So thank you for the kind words.
And unlike this ridiculous mock draft that I saw yesterday, we're not getting the number 1 draft pick unless we trade.
Probably not. No. Well, unless Bobby Jr. wants to contribute in some way. That could be.
We're going to be that bad. There's no way.
We may not be that bad, but if Bobby Jr. wants to push his Colts down the stairs and they're the number 1 pick, I'll take it. Thank you. Come on, Bobby. We're giving you a gift, apparently, maybe of a Sauce Gardner
You need to
jersey.
get a Colts voodoo doll for the start of the season.
We're gonna have that. I'm gonna be shivving that thing like I'm in prison. So yeah, we do. Let me put that down. Colts voodoo doll. I'll look into that. I don't know if they sell those, but if they do,
I'm sure there's a market for it.
Okay. Well, I know there's a market for me wanting it. We'll see if there's a market of people selling it. All right, I'll look into that.
Just get a voodoo doll and put a Colts cap on it. That's
yeah, maybe I can just make it super easy. Yeah. But let's go. Knowledge the Jedi enters the octagon. What's up, Knowledge?
Hey, how are you?
Hey, good morning. Doing great, man. Good to see you.
To answer your question, Bob, about the top running back coming out next year, it's going to be Mark Fletcher out of Miami. He runs like a grown man.
Yeah.
So if there's a top running back, that's the one I will want on my team.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, on the undrafted free agents, we picked up 3 receivers. They must not feel solid about the receiving room. I do not want Russell Wilson as a veteran quarterback in the room because if Geno goes down, can he play football?
Who do you want, Knowledge?
At this point, anyone that isn't him. Because the man is beyond his years of leading. He's too heavy right now. He's too short. He has to throw within windows. He doesn't look as mobile. He got beat out on the Savannah Banana getting to first base. It's only 90 feet. So unless he's going to be a coach, I don't see why we need him in the room. You get me? He's a big distraction. Last year for the Giants, Jameis Winston was a better backup. So if we're going to get a backup, get Cooper Rush. He's already a backup. Get Andy Dalton. He already been a backup. That brings experience. You know, it seems that our offensive coordinator likes ginger quarterbacks anyway. So why are we not going after those 2 gingers that are still on the market?
So you don't like Russell because you think he's going to be disruptive.
I just think he's beyond his elite times. And if Geno goes down, how is he going to help win games? Like, how I get that he's going to get the process. He's going to be, I don't know, maybe good for the quarterback room. But it's like either way, we will have to push that rookie to be the person to play on the field. I don't think that he's at the level to run offense right now in the NFL. He's too short. He already was height challenged.
I agree with you. He's short, but he's got a track record. He's got Super Bowl.
Yeah, but listen, so did Aaron Rodgers, and pop goes the weasel, and this man's out here holding the NFL hostage. And they still went after Drew Allen. You know what I'm saying? I don't see. Sometimes you got to know when somebody's beyond their threshold. You got to know when to hang it up and grab a clipboard.
You know who's
got to know when to fold them.
You know whose first round draft choice we need, BG, this year?
Who's that?
The Steelers.
Why is that?
Well, they got a new coach. It's not going to be Tomlin. Is that your son?
No, that's my daughter in the background.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And
yeah,
they don't have a quarter. I mean, they don't have a quarterback. They just put a tender on.
They did.
Yeah. I mean, how long? I mean, really, how long? How many times can teams play this game of chicken? With him.
I don't know. He's beyond his peak years too. I get him that he could be a game manager, but he's always been a gunslinger. Aaron Rodgers. He's always going to take the big throws. He's an improviser. He's already coming off the Achilles. He's not as mobile as he was when he was young. I wasn't even that excited when the Jets got him the first time. I'm like, what is going on with the Jets? Are we like the retirement home for the Packers quarterbacks? We did it with Brett Favre, then we did it with Rodgers. It's like, come on now.
Well, here we are. It's the Boy Green Daily featuring Knowledge the Jedi and me. So,
hey, I appreciate.
I think we are. Hey, but remember, we could have gone pretty far with Favre if he hadn't hurt his
Yeah. Yeah, if he wasn't, he got caught up with the whole texting a trainer. I don't know. He had a scandal going. I don't know if he was exactly with his mind.
But he was a very effective quarterback for us until.
Yeah, but no, it's weird. It's like he became a dumpster fire with us, and then he was revived with the Vikings. It was like how was he a year apart from that, and then all of a sudden, boom, he looked like the far from the past.
Knowledge, how many, I put myself on the record and said 5 to 6 wins. How many wins do you think the Jets can get with the solidified defense and those top 4 picks that they made?
I see realistically, maybe we could squeeze out 7.
Okay.
Maybe. The question is going to really be is that where is our depth coming from? Because the roster isn't complete yet. I'm hearing they might get Jamal Adams. Now, if you bring Jamal Adams in there, because some people were talking about he might come in.
Talk about a distraction.
Yeah, but he's playing linebacker now, and the man is very physical. So it's like we need an outside linebacker that could help too.
Oh, Paul's back. Paul,
hey, I've got good news.
We've got this covered.
You will not believe this. I have tremendous news. Tremendous news. Okay. Let me see if I have some breaking news. Oh yeah, I guess this.
Russell Wilson.
Internet has everything, people. I just purchased an Indianapolis Colts voodoo doll that they sold on eBay. Oh my God. I found it on eBay. I just bought it for $20. This lovely woman.
Oh, you have to send me that picture so I can forward it to Bobby Jr.
I cannot believe this is a real thing. You've got to be crapping me. So Bob, was that you who brought it up as a thing I should do?
Oh yeah.
So you take full credit for this, Bob. And I'm like, what are the chances? You said just get a normal voodoo doll and slap a Colt thing on. I'm like, yeah, I guess I could do that. But I'm like, if there's a real one out there. So I went, Google Indianapolis Colts voodoo doll. And there was a listing on eBay. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And I click it. And this creepy thing comes up. And it comes with pins that you can shove in it. And there's one more available. If anyone else wants the last one, it's available on eBay from, let me see who this woman is. Her name is Medusa. That's very fitting. So Medusa 801 is the one who made this. I just purchased it for a little over $20. It should be here in the next couple of days. So Indianapolis Colts voodoo doll will become a new part of the, I don't know if my fiance is going to want this sort of juju in the house and this dark magic, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do to get a franchise.
Well, so I can tell Bobby Jr. you didn't win the monthly raffle with BG, but you got the next best thing.
Yeah. So unbelievable. So there is, in fact, I can't believe this is a real thing, but this is an Indianapolis Colts voodoo doll that includes these skull-like pins that I can put into it. Yes, this is some dark magic here. So if I suddenly disappear or die, apparently I'm messing with the wrong voodoo magic. But again, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get us a franchise quarterback. So if I have to mess with the dark arts, well, then that's just something that has to happen here. So we will be shanking this thing all the time now and doing whatever we can to curse the Colts. You are cursed, Colts. Yep, that's it. So I got a voodoo doll. So there you go. I had to disappear for a second to see if I could purchase that off eBay. Okay.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Okay, great.
The whole lure about voodoo dolls is a misconception because it's literally was like a reference chart for the doctor to know what you came in there for.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, like if you came in with a headache, they'll carve a doll that looked like you and put a pin in the head. So when you came back the next time and you said your headache was gone, they take the pin out. It was like a reference chart. A lot of people misread that, like throughout the years. But
so do you think this is going to work, Knowledge?
Hey, listen, I hope that Sauce Gardner's a flop for them. He doesn't fit their system. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope that's the case. Like, maybe their system doesn't fit him. You know what I'm saying?
Question.
Like, not every defense is for every person.
If this ends up working and I shank the Colts and we get the number 1 overall pick, do I immediately buy one for the Dolphins, Bills, and Patriots and I just start sort of going to town with witch magic, or should I say,
we have the first 3 picks in the draft?
Well, I guess. I mean, ultimately, I'll get one for every other team in the NFL, I guess, and
but just remember, you have to put a pin in the arm if you're going for the quarterback, and you got to pin more than one pin in the leg. if you're trying to stop their running backs.
Well, I just know this, that someone else has cruelly had a voodoo doll for all our quarterbacks and have shoved a pin in the Achilles for Vinny Testaverde and Aaron Rodgers. So it's about time we use the dark magic against them the other way. So I don't know where this goes from here, but perhaps I'm about to become a wizard, Harry. So yes,
Who says I never make a contribution to the program?
Wow. A Colts voodoo doll. I'm gonna have to put that in some special case because my children are gonna say, "Oh, a doll." I'm like, "Whoa, don't touch this. This is some
You gotta
different
put
magic.
it in there with a picture of Sauce Gardner behind.
Oh
it.
yeah, I got to get a little case. Okay,
But I don't think you should stop there. I think you need a Packers one, and I think you need a Cowboys one.
Ooh, okay. My dad.
Oh, for the picks.
We
for the picks.
can't put all of our hopes on one team.
All right, people out in the audience, help me out. If you're out in the audience, we need some sort of a ritual sacred box of some kind to put this voodoo doll. It can't just be a cardboard box. It's got to be something sacred. So if you know of something, maybe do some eBay searches and let's find something to place the voodoo doll in.
NFL on it on the outside.
Yeah, I'm sure. Carve it in there, maybe. And then inside the voodoo doll, you're right. Put a Sauce Gardner picture. Put whoever Daniel Jones, I guess, is already injured, so I guess that voodoo magic has already worked. And then whoever else. So I'll put a bunch of maybe can someone go to Colts training camp, get like a lock of someone's hair I can throw in there too?
So knowledge, what else can we do for you?
Anywho, yes, now. Yeah.
I actually feel like we're decent on defense. I think the defense took a big upgrade, and I honestly feel that we might be maybe not top 10 defense, maybe a top 12 defense. Now with the new weapons on offense, I think the biggest.
I would love top 15. That would be a big.
Well, I just feel good about our D-backs right now. And with us having two elite pass rushers, I feel like it's going to be hard for people to pass on us. But we just have to be rotating good for, stopping the run.
I think the kid from Indiana is going to be a tremendous cornerback for us. When I saw him play, in
gonna be amazing.
Playoffs, I fell in love with that kid, even at his size.
Yeah, but it's about preparation too. It's not only about size. And if he has a good vertical jump, he could be Spud Webb size.
He does, but the way he throws his body at guys who are much bigger than him in order to prevent completions, that was very impressive.
Oh no, he was solid.
And the timing, because you got to hit the guy right at the exact moment that the ball is getting there or getting in his hands, or it doesn't work. And most guys won't sacrifice themselves, like the guy we traded to Indianapolis. He didn't sacrifice his body like that. He waited till the catch. He would knock the ball away if he could, but if he couldn't, he would just kind of put his arm around the guy and try to hold him while somebody else took him down. So
yeah. Also on offense, I feel like Cooper and Sadiq is going to help us tremendously because Sadiq creates a mismatch in the slot. And I feel Omar Cooper Jr. could play any position on the field as a receiver. And he's really good at route running and he has strong hands. So I feel that they can help us from the jump. I'm not saying they're going to get rookie of the year on offense, but I am saying that they're going to be able to create a lot of mismatches, and that's going to open up the running game for Hall to have less pressure of 8 in the box.
And that's why I think Brees can have a big year because of that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I think Geno Smith is a gunslinger. And yeah, we may get some interceptions, but he's going to throw deep down the field. He's going to throw in tight windows, and he already has the experience for years to really lead the locker room. So I don't really see why we would need a Russell Wilson. Like, I'm kind of confused. I get their friends.
It's injury insurance. That's it.
Yeah, but he's not going to win us games coming in.
But he's better. Come on. He's better than Brady. Like, okay, so if you're HE, let's ditch our fan perspective for a second. Try to see it from his point of view. So if Gino goes down and he looks down the bench, who am I going to? So Cade Klubnik, who we have no idea what he is. Don Munson suggests he needs time. So let's put that in a bucket. You have Brady Cook. He stunk last year. You have Bailey Zappi. he has like 8 games of experience. And he's bounced around the league to like 20 teams. Like, I don't know, man. He's been on the Browns, Chiefs, Patriots, everywhere. I don't feel great about him. If I'm AG and I'm like, I need to win games or I'm going to be fired, who gives me a better chance to win? Russell Wilson or, with all due respect, Bailey Zappi? The answer is clearly Russell Wilson.
I hear that, but I'd rather Cooper Rush because he already proved he could win as a backup.
Sure, yeah. Russell Wilson has a much stronger resume than Cooper Rush, but so be it. But like, I know some fans are going to want Cade Klubnik. Like, I've heard Jake give his take. He wants to see what that is. But I think there's a difference between what he wants and fans want, what the coaches want. AG wants to save his job. He doesn't want to have a science experiment for Cade Klubnik. Now, again, if things go south, I hope we test out Cade Klubnik at the end of the year.
We got to remember Russell Wilson's game was on point there with a strong running back and that he was able to improvise out of the pocket. Yeah. I don't think he's able to improvise out of the pocket with
probably not anymore.
He looked like he put on 45 pounds.
Yeah, I saw the Savannah Bananas thing. Yeah,
we turned Tebow into a freaking fullback when he was here, and all of a sudden he was like
at one point,
a half a second slower. What do you think is going to happen with Russ when he has to use his feet to get out of problems? I don't think he has the speed to do it.
It would be a crazy twist of fate, though. It would be a crazy twist of fate if Geno, he gets sucker punched, leaves the Jets, goes around on a sabbatical 7-year journey, ends up in Seattle as the backup to Russell Wilson, eventually takes Russell Wilson's job, is there in Seattle for a few years. He comes back to the Jets of all places, and then they ask him, hey, who do you want to be your backup? You know what would be funny? Russell Wilson. So if somehow that whole rigmarole, where, by the way, Geno was replaced by Sam Darnold in Seattle, so Geno replaces Russell, Sam replaces Geno goes to New York to replace Sam, Russell Wilson back up to Geno, who he was back with. Like, what the flying hoot? I could barely keep all track of all this. So it would be wild. But again, I think AG's got to look out for himself and get a veteran get here. I'm cool with if it's Cooper Rush or Russell Wilson or whoever the random guy is. I think there should be another layer of protection, to Don Munson's point and my own, of like to separate Cade from the field. So you only put him out there when he's truly ready and you don't ruin whatever your developmental plan is. That is what I hope is coming up, Knowledge. That's what I hope. And I appreciate the call, brother. You're the best. You got it.
Weekend.
And shout out to your daughter. She's cute in the background. That's terrific. Father myself, which I appreciate. Wow. What a freaking show here. Unbelievable.
I think Don really set us off on a really good course right at the beginning, and he gave us some great insights. And I hope the Jets can follow the game plan that Don Munson basically spelled out. And I mean, we know that the attitude now seems to be to not rush anybody that they draft,
right?
And basically to avoid the fans chanting for Cade, but. We'll see. These guys have AG's got a need to win this year,
right?
And so, I think they've improved themselves, and I think they're going to improve themselves some more before the season starts. But let's wait and see. It'll give us a lot of fodder to follow up on.
That's for sure. I want to give another congratulations to Chef Kevin Gilbert, Fastest Food Reviews. Again, this has to be a sign. He won our raffle this month. He is up for Asmaniac Madness later today. If you're watching this live, that's Jake Asman's YouTube channel. Around 4 o'clock, you guys should be able to vote for Chef Kevin Gilbert, who's a Boy Green Coffee Club and Espresso Club member through and through. He is competing against Gary. The winner wins Asmaniac Madness as like the #1 caller of Jets content creator land. So he won our raffle, and that's very meaningful. Chef decided to split up this raffle and Indy's blessing. Some of that will be going to Indy, the brand new draft hat from the draft. This came from Pittsburgh, so it's beautiful, right from the Jets, and it saw the draft stage and everything. And I'll give it a kiss before I put it in the box for you. So you got the draft hat, 50-pack of New York Jets trading cards, and the Sauce Gardner jersey, which Philium has called the most useless jersey in the universe, will be going over to Badshaw. And I heard that there is some support in here as we're wrapping up the show. I believe this was from DIY for Life saying, I will donate to the Bobby Jr. Jersey Fund. Seriously. So we have this super chat coming in. So let's throw this in the universe.
Wow.
if you guys are interested, and I'm going to the post office later, so if you are interested in contributing to the Bobby Jr. Sauce Gardner Jets jersey fund, reach out to me. My PayPal and Venmo are all the same. It's @BoyGreen25, BOY Green the color GREEN 25, and we'll send Bobby Jr. a beautiful New York Jets Sauce Gardner jersey, which hopefully he'll call into the show with. So yes,
which I will insist he has to wear.
Okay, excellent. As the father, that's your contractual rights, I believe, to make sure you force him to do that. So, people, if you want to donate to the Bobby Jr. Fund, I will purchase a Sauce Gardner Jets jersey if we can collect the funds, and we will send that to Bobby Jr. and Badshaw will have that version. So,
and remember, everybody, let's get BG to 10,000.
100%.
We need a phrase to kind of inspire us, but
we do.
10,000 or bust is not good enough.
Right.
But 175 a month beginning today, or about 5 to 6 every day, will get us there. And let's get it done.
100%. So if you're watching the show live or after the fact, it doesn't matter. You guys can contribute in the same way. Liking the video gets this Jet show organically in front of other Jet fans. But you subscribe to the channel if you're watching, or your friends, family. If everyone in the audience get someone to subscribe, we will be over 17,000 subscribers. If you just get one person in your life to subscribe. So if you could take that step and reach out to someone that is either a Jets fan, preferably, that'd be great, but any fan of football, and they want to support the show, that would be the way to do it. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Appreciate it. And I can't believe this actually happened, but I did indeed buy, and this is deadly serious, an Indianapolis Colts voodoo doll that a woman named Medusa, of all people. I will put out that video later on social media so you guys can see it yourself. But yes, this doll should get here in a couple of days, and it is a Indianapolis Colts voodoo doll that includes skull pins that I can shove in this doll to wish it bad luck. So very much looking forward to that.
So we can start to use it during training camp to incur maybe some minor injuries.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. Maybe we can make that happen. Normally I'm against the dark arts and whatever this brings, but we haven't had a franchise quarterback for a long time. So I am willing to do whatever it takes to get us that quarterback. And the key to me to getting us there is so we don't have to feel conflicted during the season. Say, oh, the Jets, they need to lose. No, they don't. Let's let the Colts lose. Let's us win. We can win while they lose. And that's the way to do it. So feel free, folks out there in the audience. So I see that Devin, DIY for Life, let's give him a shout out here on the show. Oh, yes. Let's give him a shout out here. What's something good? Okay, here we go. DIY for Life has just submitted a $20 donation to the Bobby Jr. Jets jersey fund. So I'm going to look around the internet and see what the prices are currently of a Sauce Gardner Jets jersey. So you guys can keep sending in your donations, either PayPal, Venmo, or Zelle. Zelle is my email, paulaesdenjr@gmail.com, or @BoyGreen25 on PayPal and Venmo. I will see what the prices are, and again, I will let you know. Maybe
the Jets themselves should have a surplus of those.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Yeah, let me look up real quick. Sauce Gardner Jets jersey. All right, how much are these going for right now? All right, on Fanatics, it's about $60 right now, unfortunately.
That's not that much for a jersey.
That's true. So maybe, there you go. So that's not that much. So again,
we're a third of the way. We're a third of the way there.
100%. So yeah, again, guys, if you want to continue to donate to that, feel free to do so.
I'll pay for the shipping.
Okay, there you go. I was just about to say that's another piece of the puzzle. So there you go. Bob Lederer, will be paying for the shipping for this Bobby Jr. jersey. So all we need is another $40. So guys, you guys can donate that in a variety of forms or fashion, and we'll see who ends up doing it. Yeah, apparently the internet says it's $60 right now. So beautiful.
Hey, Paul, thank you for including me in the Don Munson interview today.
Hey, I was going to tell you this off air, Bob, but I want to tell you this on air. I told you. So as soon as I found out, seconds later, I was emailing you to try to give you as much of a heads up as possible, because it sort of came together last night. I just wanted to let you know that for me, these, and certainly for you, obviously your book is over my left shoulder, and you interviewed a lot of important people. So it does not surprise me, but that doesn't mean it should just go sort of accepted. I take a lot of pride in my interviews. I try to do a lot of homework, research, insights, stats. So I'm not just flying by the seam of my pants with an interview and just like, whatever happens, happens. I think it's good as an interviewer to listen to questions and come up with follow-ups of things you didn't write down because you're listening intently. And I think that should be a factor. But I take a lot of pride in coming up with a lot of good questions and topics and things of that nature. You asked so many great questions to Don Munson. And again, it should surprise me. You're Bob Lederer, for God's sakes. But it just made me very proud. And I'm glad that Bob was on this interview for me because we were able to get more out of this interview than if I would have done this solo. And Bob, so I would have told you this off air. I'll tell you this on I'll scream for the rooftops. Thank you.
Thank you for that compliment. And I'll say for the umpteenth time, I learned so much from the Jet players themselves. And I don't claim to be an expert, and I don't know the X's and O's. But I know, the elements that go into making a good quarterback because I read so thoroughly about Namath and how he was transformed from a gunslinger who liked to show off his arm to a guy on Super Bowl Sunday, number 3, was a combination of Bart Starr as a field general and Sonny Jurgensen as that gunslinger who just put the ball. I will never forget the throw he made to Sauer. And George went, it seemed like 10 feet in the air and caught the ball. And it was just, that is one of the most amazing catches in Super Bowl history.
There's no doubt about it. So, Bob, I will tip my cap to you, good sir. You asked great questions. The Seth Ryan stuff was phenomenal and so much more. And apparently I'm being told by Boss Girl that it's even cheaper on eBay. I'm on eBay right now. The only thing you'll have to do on eBay is make sure you get the right size. So I have to flirt around with that a little bit on eBay.
Yeah,
obviously,
he probably needs an extra large. Yeah.
It's okay. All right, good. I will write that down for Bobby Jr. if we get aggressive here. XL Bobby Jr. Beautiful. All right. So, yes, you guys could keep contributing to the fund. Feel free to do so. There are some better prices there on eBay. So thank you, Boss Girl, for that. I'll keep looking through there. So feel free to send in again your donations. That is at BoyGreen25 on PayPal or Venmo or Zelle. That is my email, Paul A. Esden Jr. at gmail.com. So awesome. So Bob, thanks for the great questions for Don. Shout out to Don himself.
Yeah.
He's a legend. An absolute legend. He's been, he told you his resume, but I knew of his resume before he answered that question. He has just been covering Clemson football for a very, very long time. He's been around Trevor Lawrence's, Deshaun Watson, some really legendary, talented, some of the greats of Clemson quarterbacks, including Cade Klubnik and being around him the last couple of years. So phenomenal interview. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And again, the race is on to 10K. We've got a couple of months here. Let's see what we can do. So, Bob, there was a lot of fun. And, we'll do this again next week.
Great weekend.
Appreciate it. And again, tomorrow morning on Boy Green Daily is Hop on Pop. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.